The heart of your teams, the heart of Michigan. Bally Sports Detroit, the heart of the fan.
We have no idea what's coming, and that's the beauty of living life as a teenager. It's a blank page to be written.
Drive. Down. All the way to the bag. All the way to the 1, 2, 3. Bailey.
Who doesn't cherish the start of memories they'll have forever? That's part of every school year in the state of Michigan, and the start of every season for every athlete as long as games have been played here. Today in downtown Detroit, the high school football season begins with a flourish. We didn't begin on time a year ago. We're a step back toward normal now, and it's a part of what makes this day so special as the moments to become memories begin. It's not always comfortable, but football in late August in the state of Michigan gives us comfort. The knowledge that the season will soon change. And once again, the football season will begin here at Tom Adams Field on the campus of Wayne State with the Zenith Prep Football Classic. 2 games on this day here. The first involving the Canton Chiefs, who averaged almost 40 points a game last season in a terrific test against Dearborn Fordson, who have put together 14 consecutive winning seasons. That game is upon us. The nightcap in the Zenith Prep Kickoff Classic is also a dandy. 2 perennial powers meeting up. Chippewa Valley led by their senior quarterback Ryan Schuster against Detroit Catholic Central featuring their senior Declan Bile. That game set for 7 p.m. here on Bally Sports. And with that, we welcome you to another season of high school football on Bally Sports, this one starting as scheduled. Welcome to Wayne State. I'm John Keating, and we're all in this fall. We begin on Thursdays, but get set for Football Fridays, where we take the best game of the week from border to border, from lake to lake in the state of Michigan, and present it to you with a tailgate show feel, and maybe with some celebrity appearances along the way. That's to come, but a spectacular matchup gets us going in downtown Detroit today. It's Canton, it's Dearborn Fordson. Let's bring in the guys who will call it for you. We're joined now by Johnny Kane and Rob Rubick. Gentlemen.
Kates, I'll tell you what, we've made it to the opening week of high school football here in the great state of Michigan. It feels great. We really feel like this first game between Canton and Fordson is going to be a really quality football game. You talk about Canton coming off an undefeated regular season, first time in more than a decade, and then Fordson eyeing a 15th straight winning season. And you look at this matchup and you see something you've never seen before in nearly 3 decades of calling football.
What we're going to see here today is very rare. Canton's going to put 11 guys on offense that are all seniors. Fordson's going to combat that with 11 guys on defense that are all seniors. That's important, but I think the real kicker is, Johnny, is you look at Canton only has 2 that are going both ways. Yep. Fordson's throwing out 7 guys that are going both ways, so they're going to have to freely substitute here today because it is hot.
I was going to say depth will be key in this one. Let's talk about Canton first off. They run that T offense, and we know obviously they can score in bunches at will. What makes preparing for that type of offense so difficult for opposing teams?
Well, you just don't see it, especially at the Division I level. It's an offense that's based on timing and deception. The timing comes with the trap block inside, also with the quarterback meshing to the fullback on the interior trap play. And then it's deception, carrying out the fakes by the off, right, and left halfbacks as well as the quarterback. It's tough to find the football. And if you're the Fordson defense, especially the interior linebackers, you can't start chasing ghosts. You have to read your keys, be true to your guard reads, fill what needed to call upon the field, and get it done. Because if not, it could be a long afternoon defensively for the Tractors.
Well, the Tractors of Fordson, they are led by Division I recruit Antonio Gates Jr. He'll be playing for Mel Tucker in East Lansing next season. What about his game makes him so difficult and such a dynamic playmaker?
I got to see his body out here just a little while ago. I said, if I looked like that, I wouldn't have went to Grand Valley, that's for sure. But he is what every coach wants. He's got speed. He's got size. He's a grabber of the football. I don't like people catch. I want to see you grab it with your hands. He does that. But maybe the most important thing, great bloodline as well. When you look at his dad, a future Hall of Famer as well, he's a player that you look for because he can change a defense. When you game plan defensively, when you're Canton and you look at what he can do, you have to count for him on every formation.
And Coach Zaban, Fuad Zaban, the head coach of Dearborn, says he brings his best when he's going up against the best. So we're looking forward to that matchup on the outside today. Again, the conditions are what they are today. It is a warm one. It is doubleheader action. I want to bring in the third member of our broadcast team, that being Brooke Fletcher. Fletch, what's happening where you are?
Hey guys, yeah, throughout the week I've had the opportunity to talk to the players and the coaches, and the general theme around both of these teams just seems to be excitement. Excitement for not only to have football back, but just to have a sense of normalcy. This is the first time since 2019 they'll have fans back in the stands, the band back, and they'll be able to play without the masks. Now, what better way to kick off their season than right here at Tom Adams Field in front of a packed house and on a live broadcast. Now, with this excitement also comes nerves, you guys. These coaches, they have been stressing to stay focused, not let the stage get too big, and just to stay calm, cool, and collected. Now, another factor they have to worry about is also this heat. You guys, it is 88 degrees out right now, but it feels like 97. So you can expect to see the players rotating in and out just to ensure that they stay hydrated and to prevent cramping. So we'll keep an eye on that throughout the day.
I appreciate it, Brooke. We're looking forward to this one, the kickoff classic here at Wayne State University. Dearborn Fordson and Canton get things going on the other side of this break. The nightcap, Catholic Central and Chippewa Valley. Settle in. It's an entertaining evening of high school football only on Bally Sports. Coverage of the Zenith Prep Kickoff Classic on Bally Sports is brought to you by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Family is not just the name of our company, but the way we do business. And by your local Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Well, we're about ready to go here at Wayne State University. It is a beautiful Michigan summer evening. 88 degrees, they say. You heard Brooke Fletcher saying it feels a little bit hotter than that. A little bit high humidity. 97 degrees is what they say it feels like, but I'll tell you what, it feels like high school football weather no matter what. We play in any conditions, wouldn't we?
Absolutely. This is the kickoff classic, and hopefully this will be a classic, Johnny.
Here we go. Dearborn Fordson, led by that man, Fuad Zaban, now in his 15th season. You can see what he's done over his tenure there. They're eyeing a 15th consecutive winning season. And they will be doing the kicking off, that being the Tractors in maize and blue, representing the Kensington Lakes Activities Association East. Preseason pick to finish second. The ball is away and fielded by Josiah West, and that will be a touchback to start this game. Canton Chiefs come in wearing the scarlet and white, playing out of the Kensington Lakes Activities Association West. They are preseason pick to finish first. And we're excited to see this offense. You and I talked about it in the open here, Rob Rubick, that distinct T offense, and they can absolutely score the football.
Yeah, they can. It starts with that young man right there, Arturo Trevino. How does he handle the ball? It's all about deception, play faking, carrying out play fakes. If they do a good job of that and the offensive line can hold up, they can put up huge numbers in motion.
Arturo Trevino, number 4 there in scarlet. 1 career pass attempt entering today. But they really liked his offseason development, and they feel like they're in good hands to put the football in his hands. And right off the get-go, a little pitch back to Drew Contos. The senior halfback picks up a couple of yards on the play. Take a look at the starters here for the Canton Chiefs. Jordan Vidajewski, starting left tackle. He's a good football player. Lucas Tefelsky, he's somebody they really lean on. Jacob Richter, Julian Boudreau, we'll talk quite a bit about as the game progresses. And then in the backfield, a lot of talented skill position players, none better than the fullback, number 2, Zach Badger, right in the middle of your screen.
A little different look here, Johnny. Only quarterback, call this empty.
How about this? Arturo Trevino, they put a little motion on it. Little inside pitch on the jet sweep. And they pick up a couple of yards at best. That was Connor Hands coming across. And that'll bring up 3rd and about 5. How about that Fordson Tractor defense?
Well, they're tough up front. You got Hussein and Mohammed Bazi up front. They do a really good job talking to Coach Zaban. He really likes the way they can not just clog things up, Johnny, but how they can throw and flow as well. And that's what you want your DTs to be able to do. Don't just get tied up all the time. Get separation and make the play. And we saw that time Hussein Bazi got in on the tackle.
That was a look at Mohammed Zaban here on 3rd down. And they're going to roll the quarterback out. Trevino has his man underneath and picks up the first down. So a nice job out of the backfield. He hits Corbin James, the senior tight end.
Well, this is what we called a waggle back in the day. They're going to ball fake to the right, and then you're going to boot Trevino out to the left, and they just drag James from the weak side as a tight end. He just does a nice job staying shallow. You got a little tiered read here. You see Badger was in the flat. You have James on the shallow drag, and then you have the wide receiver coming on the deeper crossing route. Easy progression read. You tell your quarterback, read deep to short. Look for the biggie first. It's not there. He finds intermediate pass. Well executed on a third down. Moves the sticks.
Arturo Trevino. First pass as the starting quarterback for Canton, and he completes it for a first down. He's inside that fullback trap. Picks up a couple of yards. That's
Zach Badger with the
Zach
carry.
Badger. Let's take a look at the head coach. There he is. Andy LaFada throwing a little wrinkle here on the first series.
And you know you're going to see that. You know, Coach LaFada, he has training camp, which is 3 weeks of practice preparing for this game. Not just get your team ready for the season, but he gets a chance to the Tractors, they have the same thing. You look at Fordson, they're preparing for us. They're going to get a lot of looks at what we do. So he's got to come out and give him a little more edge look, as we've seen in a few plays, getting your quarterback outside, running a little jet pitch. And they're still going to come back to that fullback trap because that is the bread and butter. So Coach LaFada using his time wisely and very efficiently.
Yeah, LaFada, you want to give him something to think about.
Yeah.
Right? Show him something.
Right now,
early.
we're seeing another formation.
Here we go. I'll tell you what's interesting. And there will be a timeout called by Canton. Last year, the Canton Chiefs, their leading receiver, had 7 receptions on the year. So already you can see in game 1. They don't throw unless they really have to. Obviously in third and mid-range on that opening drive, they want to make sure they maintain drives and get this game started off the right way.
It's amazing that they can have the success when teams know they're going to run the ball between the tackles. 80% of the time, they still have success.
How about this? Here's your school bio for the Canton Chiefs. We talked about them playing in the KLAA West. They share a campus with Plymouth and Salem. 2005 Division I runner-up. Why is that important? That's because that man in the middle wearing the white, head coach Andy LaFada, he was a starting offensive lineman on that team, and he was also part of the inaugural Hall of Fame induction class at Canton. And on the other side of it, how about the Tractors? KLAA East, founded all the way back in 1922. We have some teaching.
I was in
elementary
school.
A bit later. You were named after Henry and Edsel Ford. We'll show you the visual evidence behind that.
Some great stories about the inception of that school.
And there's Coach Zaban. They call him Walker Zaban, but Fuad Zaban on his 15th season leading this program. So on second and long, out of the timeout, Trevino rolling to his right, has his man picked off, intercepted near midfield and down to the 42-yard line. It was Muhammad Sayad. So a big play by that Fordson defense.
And this sometimes I don't want to say out-coach yourself, but you get out of character. They're not a passing team. They're trying to give a different look to Fordson. But you can see the ball fake. He rolls out and just does not see the defender, Sayad, just sitting there waiting in the zone. It wasn't man coverage. It was zone coverage. And Sayad just sits down. He makes the pick, and now that just changes the field. Talking to Andy LaFada, though, he's a big believer in sudden change. He said, we're going to turn the ball over. He said, you can't play high school football and not expect that you're going to get a turnover in game. He said, the key to winning, though, is how do you handle sudden change? What do you do? Does your defense come out? Can they get a stop, or do they go right through you and get 7 points? Do they make you pay for the turnover? Let's see what the Canton defense can do here.
Yeah, want to minimize their mistakes, and then, again, how do you respond from it? We talk about that, flipping the field. Trevino was able to step into it, but an INT. And how about Alex Osman? This kid is efficient, is he not?
I tell you what, though, they got him spread out. When I say Canton, we get delay here already?
Delay a game after the change of possession.
Yeah, that's tough. But look at here. I want you to get a look. We're getting a wide shot of this. They only have 5 defenders in the box. Now, you have 5 linemen, a running back, and a quarterback. So you have 7 offensively. Now, granted, normally the quarterback doesn't block, but you have numbers. Look, they got them spread out. You got 4 to the high side here, and you also have 2 spread out to the bottom. I'd run against this all day.
There's Osman, the senior quarterback, out of the shotgun. Standing next to him is Leonard Covington, and Osman looking for Antonio Gates, but pass broken up. Nice job by Caleb Williams on the outside.
Antonio Gates was looking for the flag, but this is just a wonderful break by Caleb Williams. Antonio breaks, runs I'll call it a skinny post, but Williams does a great job of timing it, so he arrives exactly when the ball arrives, breaks it up, and that's a good no call by the officials. We'll get one look here. Osman in the pocket, ball pretty well thrown, but the coverage was better.
Yeah, really nice coverage. That Caleb Williams at number 5. He's a Division I recruit. Tennessee has already offered him, just a sophomore, but they really like his upside. Here's Osman again out of the shotgun. Leonard Covington to his left. 2nd and long. The handoff is to Covington. Got a little bit of running room past the 40 and down near the 36-yard line. So a good chunk play by Leonard Covington, the senior running back. Let's take a look at that. Oh, we got an injury on the field. And it looks to be Mike Woods, the sophomore corner. As the medical staff comes out to tend to him, Coach Zuban gathers his team. And we'll look at Fordson's starters on offense. Really good player in Kamari Landers, the left tackle. They feel like he projects as an interior lineman at the next level, but make no mistake, he will play at the next level. And in the skill positions, you can see again Antonio Gates Jr. He is the number 1 guy they want to stop. Leonard Covington, we just saw pick up a nice chunk yardage, and then the tight end, Muhammad Ali Hazimi, really nice player, a lot of versatility. He can play a little offensive tackle, he can play defensive tackle, he can play tight end. We'll even put him on at defensive end as well, so he gives him a little versatility, but a pretty sure-handed pass catcher from his tight end spot.
You look at what we've seen with Fordson in their first few sets. Canton is forced to double Antonio Gates. You can see they walk the linebacker out. He's going to help in underneath coverage. You're going to leave Williams on an island, number 5, with him. And then you got also 4 to the wide side. So that means you're only leaving 5 in the box. So if you're Fordson, you have to be able to run the football against that 5 in the box, and hopefully eventually you will pull one of those other defenders in. You got to pull one of those safety/linebackers in to help against the run game. Because you talk about a soft looking inside here.
3rd and 6. Osman fakes the handoff. Got Antonio Gates on the outside. Gates in for the touchdown.
Pass completed to number 7, Antonio Gates Jr.
Antonio Gates, single coverage on the outside, quick play fake, and threw it right on the money.
That's Caleb Williams. That young man's already been offered a Power 5 conference scholarship. He's your best corner, and you're going to take your best corner, who's only a sophomore now, and you're going to man him up to one of the top players in the state of Michigan. And Osman, all the time in the world, he just throws it. And I'm a big fan of the deep ball. I know people think, wow, that's a great pass. The deep ball to me is one of the easiest throws because you air it up and you allow your receiver can make it break that throw. He can alter it in, out. He can change the speed. That time Antonio Gates didn't have to do much because that ball was perfectly thrown by Osman. So what a job. That's, you talk about what they do with the turnover. Sudden change. Canton did not handle it very well. Fordson capitalizes on it.
Yeah, beautiful pitch and catch there. And Antonio Gates Jr., again, 6'2", 185. Last year had more than 500 receiving yards and 7 TDs. Didn't take him long to pick up his first touchdown of this season. And pending the point after, Fordson looks to take a 7-0 lead.
Heading shot number 20 to attempt the point.
And it looks like it was partially blocked. So we'll make it 6-0 lead for Fordson after the block on the PAT. Antonio Gates on the receiving end from Alex Osman. And the Tractors in maize and blue off to a quick start here in the Kickoff Classic.
Welcome back. Fordson up 7-0 here in the first quarter. Arturo Trevino looking to get something going here on this drive. He's had quite a journey to becoming the starting quarterback. He was born in Monterrey, Mexico, and started playing American football at the age of 5. His sophomore year, he moved to Canton for his dad's job and joined the football team. And last year, he was the kicker and the backup quarterback, and we asked Coach, hey, how do you earn the starting position? He said, listen, the athleticism was always there, but after he came back this offseason, he was a completely different person. He grew 3 inches, and that, along with his work ethic, he knew he was ready to be the starting quarterback. I asked him what his message was, and he said, have you heard that Dashboard confessional song, Remember to Breathe? He's just got to breathe, you guys. It's a great song, by the way. Have you heard it?
Yeah, I can't say Brooke,
You know Rob
is it like the
Rubick has
Mamas
not
and the,
heard it.
I've heard the Mamas and the Papas. Is it the same era or?
No. Jeez. No. Remember to breathe and the rest will take care of itself.
No. John Keating will know my music.
Yeah. Well, there you go. He was in the Mamas and Papas, from what I remember. So 6-0 Fordson. A good start to the football game. Again, all set up by the first turnover.
It is. I want to talk a little strategy here. Fordson, their strategy defensively says you will not beat us on the fullback trap. They're bringing up their linebackers. They're pinching down inside with their defense tackle. They're clogging up that guard-to-guard area to take the fullback trap. So if you're Canton, you see that, you think edge. But, man, Fordson also has a lot of speed in their corners on the edge.
There's a handoff inside and a gain of about 5 yards on the play. So nice job by Wesley Faulkner.
So once again, this all starts with protection. The protection is there. The coverage, Caleb Williams, that's pretty good. He's just got to learn when Gates reaches, you got to rip and strip through. The problem is he was beat a little bit already, and then you're trying to catch up. And people say, he doesn't have any ball skills. Well, when you're behind as a defensive back and you're trying to catch a guy, Johnny, you're running as fast as you can. You don't have the ability to run as fast as you can and strip the football. So he was just looking to catch up.
Second offensive series for Canton. And a handoff trying to get to the outside near the first down marker. And it looks to be about a yard short. That was Caleb Williams.
So we were talking about when we started this series, is they're testing the perimeter now. They understand if Fordson's going to load up inside, that's fine. We'll still run a fullback trap. Everyone will keep them honest. But we're going to run our outside game. You might see the quick pitch outside. They run the jet sweep outside. And they're going to try to stretch them a little bit. And then a lot of pressure falls on the two tight ends. When you look at Janes and Sokol, can they get a little bit of a seal on the outside linebackers of Fordson to allow that edge play to get there?
So 3rd and short on their side of the 30. Trevino. There's that trap. And they give it to old reliable Zach Badger, who picks up the first down. So that'll move the chains. Again, Badger, everything you want in a football player. 5'11", 175-pound senior. Looks like little ginger coming off.
Here's Boudreaux. Watch the left guard. Actually, it's not Boudreaux. It's number 15, Lucas Tofelski. He's going to pull. It's a double down, up through the hole. Just gets enough. And that's the beauty of this inside trap, Johnny. I try to tell people, offensive linemen love it. You know why? You don't have to stay up and stay on. You just got to initially get a hit, and it's by you already. You don't have to, they teach you, stay up, stay on, move your feet, lock in. Well, in this offense, if you can square up and get a good hit, that fullback's through there.
All right, we're going to have a stoppage of play here. Looks like Canton's going to take a timeout. Something we're going to keep an eye on. Number 2, Zach Badger, looked a little ginger as he was coming off the field. He is obviously a big part of what they do. But Canton trying to answer Fordson's early touchdown, trailing 6-0 here in the first. Well, you can't spell Canton without the T. What is it about this offense that makes them so successful? Teach us, Rubes.
Well, I'm going to give you a little inside play 101, and this is why I like it. Well, let's watch the two guards, Boudreaux, Richter, and the center, Tofelski, the other guard. Keep an eye on them. We got them highlighted here. There's going to be a double down on the left side, and it's a tight trap. It's not where you pull, you drop your feet back. We were talking about that mesh point in the open, and that's what it is. He's meshing right off the double and just getting a piece, and that happens to be Damon Payne, the Alabama recruit there. And look at the linebackers step up. And he's there. There's no one there for Badger. And that's we're going to look a little look from the rear later, Johnny, and you can really see the timing that it takes in this offense for that play to be successful.
Here we go on 1st and 10, live action. Trevino pump fakes one time, gets past the defender, stays on his feet, trying to get to the edge, and will not. Taken out of bounds, but decides to eat that one rather than throw that into no man's land.
Yeah, not a bad play. You live to fight another day for Trevino. Mm-hmm. But I only saw a one-man route. I saw Covington coming out of the backfield in the flat. And we'll get another look here. You see the ball fake. Tight end's blocking. Tight end does block and release, and there's Covington. Actually, that's Williams, number 5, leaking into the flat. It's tough when you get a one-man route when you're rolling your quarterback that way. And if that guy happens to be covered, he had to eat it that time. That's what we saw Trevino do.
So that'll bring up 2nd and call it 13.
This is an offense you need to stay ahead of the sticks. Anyone ever watches like the Army-Navy game? Those teams run similar type of option offenses.
There's the pitch. Caleb Williams one more time. Not much doing.
right, we're going to take another look here, Johnny. This time it's going to be behind Boudreaux. Let's watch the fullback. That's Zach Badger highlighted. He's going to come right through here. But keep an eye on Trevino. Watch how when he gets the ball, he gives it to Badger, but look at where his eyes are. He's looking at the right halfback. He's already given the ball away, and the defense doesn't even know it. That's the timing part. How quick can you hit that trap? Because once again, the quicker you hit it, it hits through there, and the defensive tackles can't react. And it's all about watching the quarterback too. He carries out the fake. The linebacker starts seeing his eyes, and they get lost. So far, Fordson's been up to the task, though.
There's Trevino on 3rd and long. Trevino looking for his intended target, but incomplete.
Pass intended for Thomas Sokol.
He's looking for Tommy Sokol, his senior tight end, but that's going to bring up a punt for Canton. One thing they like about Trevino is his ability to carry out those fakes. Again, didn't have a ton of experience last year, but really good off-season development.
Yeah, they had a little bit of ball fake in that time, but not as much as we've seen. Hussein Bazi, he got in there and really delivered a blow, and Trevino was coming off saying, hey, Coach, I thought we were a full house T offense. Can we get back to running that fullback trap thing? Because that hurt. He
that's
took
good
a shot.
Yeah. Hussein Bazi at 6'1", 250 pounds. You'll feel it. So first punt of the game. And off the side of the foot, this is going to be great field position for Fordson. Did take a pretty good hop for Canton, but it's going to be right near midfield before it is finally down. Jack Weiss there to corral it.
I think in hindsight, Jack Weiss is going to probably get coached up when he goes to the sideline saying, listen, when it bounces, it goes high and is going the way we want, let it bounce again and again, because on Astrip, more times than not, it's going to keep working its way down the field. It may have cost him 10 yards or so, but that ball took a big hop. Needless to say, we're going to get a second look at this Fordson offense, see if any adjustments were made. Caleb Williams was locked up man with Antonio Gates. We saw some help with the linebacker in the under coverage for the short stuff. So Caleb Williams, you got to measure that speed of your opponent. He might realize now, he's got a little bit better top end than I thought. Maybe a little bit more cushion.
No, it looks like they're going to go back to it on the far side. It's going to be Williams and Gates.
Right, and you
can see at the top of your screen.
Now you can probably see the outside backer there. He's going to probably bail on this as well to help.
Osman in shotgun, in motion, will give up the football. And it's Mohamed Sayad trying to get to the edge. Gets down to about the 44-yard line, so pretty good gain there on first down for the Tractors of Fordson.
It's really surprising. You want your defense to keep bumping it, make it stair step outside. Have one guy filling. You can see that here. They stretch it. He wants to cut up nowhere, and he just shows wonderful speed getting to the edge. That's Sayad. Because I thought they were going to get him for no loss, or no gain, or even a loss. Instead, he was able to get to the corner and pick up 7 yards.
Second down. There's Sayad. Had 300-plus receiving yards a season ago, 3 touchdowns to boot. Another versatile player. Osman from the shotgun. Flag on the play, hands it off up the front. Great second effort by Leonard Covington, but hold the phone. This one may be coming back.
Leonard just did a little now you see me, now you don't. That was a nice stop, jump cut in the backfield. Good penetration by Canton's defense, but Leonard Covington, sometimes good players can make the formation.
Yeah, 5 in the backfield.
Sometimes good players can make a good defensive call and not look so good. And that time Covington pretty much did it on his own, because after the penetration, he was still able to make something happen.
That's Coach Zaban. Remember last year, they finished 5-3 overall, 4-2 in conference play. But remember in week 2, they gave up 69 points on the road at Belleville. Coach Zaban said he didn't have his team prepared the right way. They had all the starting, stopping. It was a mental challenge for him to get his program ready, going through all the obstacles and hurdles of COVID. But after that, after they gave up 69 at Belleville, they rattled off 5 straight wins before losing to Cass Tech in the district semifinals. So they had a pretty good season they put together after getting walloped there in week 2. Osman on the outside. Antonio Gates, lots of cushion inside the 40-yard line. That'll be a first down for Fordson.
Williams, number 5, with the tackle.
Antonio Gates been involved early. If you're just tuning in, he'll be playing next fall at Michigan State University.
And they're going to like this. We got a quick look here. Antonio Gates is going to be split to the high side of your replay. Now you don't get a look here. My bad. Anyways, all he did, because he got behind Williams, he threatened him with speed. Once he opens Williams' hips, the defensive back, he just snaps it to the outside.
Well, they moved the chains again. Osman got this offense rolling. Back to pass again. Another flag comes into play. They're going to whistle this one dead. So hurting themselves a little bit on this drive. Had the illegal formation earlier in this series. And that'll be another 5-yard penalty as Zabon looks on. Again, early in a season opener. They know there are going to be some mistakes, a lot of mental mistakes early on. But again, you try to minimize as best you can.
Did you get the impression, we had a chance to visit with Coach Zabon this week, he almost seemed like too nice to be a head coach. He was just so polite, so nice. He's like, well, and I talked to him privately. He said, I have really good coaches on my staff. A lot of my former players have come back. He goes, I just kind of manage the big picture. Yeah, I think he's not giving himself enough credit.
Osman over the middle throws an absolute dart to Muhammad Sayad. And that'll be another first down for this Fordson offense. And they are rolling here late in the first quarter.
And we're seeing how speed can be such a weapon offensively, how it threatens the defense. Sayad's going to come from your right. He just runs across, and what he does a really nice job of is he really comes flat, and Connor Hands can't get underneath the route. And you want your receivers, anytime you're coming on a crossing route, the tendency is to drift up the field, but that allows the defender a chance to get underneath the route. So when you can come square like Sayad did there, good things happen.
T formation in the backfield for Fordson, and a great job stuffing out the play. Fabulous effort by Parker Salowich. He read that all the way, and a big loss on the play by that Canton defense.
Well, Parker's gotten in there a few times. Salowich, we saw early on, he made the play bubble, but he couldn't make the tackle. That time, he was able to close the deal. He just does a nice job running through from his linebacker position. He beats the block of the tackle. He gets into the backfield, and they needed that. I mean, you got the penalty. That hurt Fordson on this drive. Now you get a loss. That puts Fordson in a 3rd and 10. Now you dictate as a defense. You're thinking pass in this situation. And who do you think they may look for? I'm going to guess Sayad, or on the top side, on the high side here, we got Antonio Gates, Jr.
Here it is, 3rd and long. Inside handoff. And they go to Leonard Covington. So not much doing. Makes you wonder if this is 4-down territory.
Well, when they run a play like that, it makes you think they're going to. But it's hard to – it's one of those plays when you see, like, why did they run the ball? He pops out for 15. Great call.
Sure.
But when they get it stuffed with a soft interior box right there, people say, oh, why did you run the ball? It was 3rd and 10. We're throwing the ball all over the field. That's you try to catch the defense. You roll the dice a little bit, and that time it didn't work. Now, you can go for it here, but I tell you, I'm a big fan of the pooch, too. Flip that field. Your defense is playing well.
We got 3rd and 9 showing on the television screen here at the field. 4th and 9. Osman has Antonio Gates one more time. Is he in? You better believe it. Unbelievable. Osman reaches back and finds Antonio Gates for a 2nd time for a Fordson Tractors touchdown.
And I'm not knocking Alex Osman, but you got that man number 7. You just have to reach back, set your feet, and heave it. He shifts gears. He beat Antonio Gates. He's going to come into your picture here, and he just leaves Caleb Williams. And no help on the inside. I think Caleb thought he was going to get a little bit of help on the interior that time by Wesley Faulkner, but Wesley didn't get there in time. And Caleb Williams right now is saying, fellas, listen, I'm a sophomore. I need help. You can't be too proud. I need help. I cannot stay with him. He's closing the gap on me. And when you close that gap, the cushion, and you snap it with the type of speed that Gates has, you get caught in your turn as a defensive back, and before you know it, you're chasing 5 yards behind.
It's a fabulous effort. We're talking to Coach Zabon as Hadi Saad comes in to try the point after. The first one was partially blocked. And this one, he splits the uprights. We're asking him how good Antonio Gates Jr. was in his opinion. He says as good as he wants to be. He seems to bring his best against the best, but needs to bring it every time, no matter the competition. Today, he's bringing it.
Watch to the right here. He's going to come into your picture, and you can see how he shifts gears. It looks like he's running. All of a sudden, it's going to be a little bit too far. I just got one more gear. I put it in the overdrive. I can accelerate, and that's what everyone wants to see. When I say everyone, I'm talking about college coaches and at the next level, NFL coaches. Do you have that ability as a receiver to accelerate, to create separation late in a route? Do you accelerate coming out of cuts? How is that gear? Do you have that? What I've seen so far, number 7, Antonio Gates Jr. has that gear, and he may even have another one after that. All I know. He's pretty good. Yeah, I got a chance to watch the Ziegler kid from Grand Rapids Catholic Center. He's heading to Notre Dame, and he plays safety and receiver. It's at the big house for the first half at Catholic Central from Grand Rapids. Played Lapeer, and he's the real deal, too. Doesn't look the same as a receiver as Antonio Gates, but he's a big guy, 6'4", high points the ball, deceivingly fast, kind of floats out there. You don't think he's running fast. So this state of Michigan, they say high school football isn't as competitive in Michigan as in some other states around. Well, those are two dang pretty good receivers. You look at Antonio Gates Jr. and the young Ziegler man from Grand Rapids Catholic Center is a pretty good player, too. Those are just two of the kids that we highlight in this state each and every week.
Well, I'll tell you the one thing about, Antonio Gates, the fact that, being around him, you wouldn't know that his dad's a future Hall of Famer, that he's a D1 athlete. Never talks about his recruiting or how good he is. They're just a great kid to be around. Canton now with an opportunity up past the 20-yard line. Canton shapes the trailing 13-0.
Well, we were talking, Johnny, about how outstanding these two players are. We're going to get a graphic look here. Here's the top 10, and you can see Antonio Gates is rated number 5, and the young man Nolan Ziegler, who I was talking about from Grand Rapids, is rated 6. Both well down. Now, they have Ziegler as a linebacker. He played safety. He played linebacker, and I think he caught 3 touchdowns as a receiver. Just a really well-rounded athlete. So there's some talent. West Bloomfield, Belleville, you see a couple there, and then Fordson. We talk so much about Antonio Gates. I'm going to give Alex Osman some love, too. He's getting that ball where Gates can go and get it.
Canton trying to get to the outside, but not much doing. It'll be a loss of 1 on the play. Nice job sniffing out there by the Fordson tractor defense.
That's some speed now.
That was a lot of speed. That was Zane Bouzade.
Yeah, Bouzade really number 55. That was impressive. That's a big man now. You look at Bouzade's size. He's 6'4". I'm sorry, that's 6'4".
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, 6'4", 300 pounds. No way can he do that. He can't move like that and be that big, is he?
Oh. That's the end of the opening quarter. Antonio Gates, what do you have for us, young man? How about a couple of receiving touchdowns as Dearborn Fordson leads it 13-0 after 1. Here's an interesting note for you. Fordson High School was founded in 1922 and named after Henry Ford's only son, Edsel. Fordson's nickname, Tractors, comes from the famous Fordson tractor manufactured by Ford Motor Company. Get it? Fordson? Ford's son, Edsel. And there is an original Fordson tractor. More to come.
I had one of the
Did you know
ushers
that?
Because I was in the production meeting. I was at the game today in Michigan, and this old timer was telling me that he made it like a college campus, Johnny, because he thought most of the people would work in his factory and he wanted them to get that college experience. So he made that high school campus like a college campus.
How about that? On 2nd and long, Arturo Trevino able to get away from the would-be tackler, has his man, and a big Corbin James first down. He's right near the sticks. He is right at the sticks, and they're going to say yes. So Corbin James right at it. Nice job and a nice effort by Arturo Trevino to get away from it.
A good ad-lib by Trevino, but also nice job by James working. He doesn't quit. He gives his quarterback an out. When your quarterback scrambles away, you break your route to him. If he comes to you, you break it away. So James kept with it. He gave Trevino an out, and he found it and completed it for a first down. It's a big first down for this. If Canton can put a drive together, Johnny, get a touchdown. As bad as it seems right now, it's a 14-7 game, or 13-7. Right?
13-0. Oh, if they get a
score,
touchdown.
they put a drive together. Yeah, you feel like it's been dominated by Fordson. Like, oh, geez, woe is me, Canton. But if the Chiefs put a drive together and put a touchdown on the board, you look at it's 13-7.
Sure. Yeah, no question. I'll tell you what I'm a little bit surprised of, and I appreciate it, is the fact that they're letting this Arturo Trevino, again, his first ever start for the Chiefs, and they're letting him reach back and throw it a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, that's just not typically what they do. They've been running the RPO for 20-some-odd years. They run, obviously, that fullback trap. That's their bread and butter. But,
you
again,
watch him
this
throw?
is a look.
He threw the ball.
That's exactly it. I mean,
of course, LaFada sees something. I mean,
that's adapting to your players.
These coaches, they tell us bits and pieces. They don't tell us everything. And you can see this kid's got a good arm. He's very athletic. He's a playmaker. And he's a lead blocker on that play, by the way.
And there's a hand up by Wesley Faulkner. Yeah.
That's got the single wing or the double wing concept where your quarterback, he pitches the ball, he turns up into the hole, he leads the play. It gives you an extra blocker at the point of attack. You better have a physical quarterback.
Well, that Trevino, you heard Brooke Fletcher talking about it, that 3-inch growth spurt, almost that second growth spurt you get in high school. Some of us are still waiting for it. But, he's really came into his body a little bit. He has some bounce in his step. Good athlete last year, but you go from kicker to starting quarterback, you got to have a little moxie.
Yeah,
and he plays.
Absolutely.
Team captain, Arturo Trevino, trying to put the first points of the season on the board for this Chiefs offense. Out of the shotgun. Has motion, hands it off on the sweep, trying to get to the edge.
And a half a yard short, I'm going to guess here. Got a nice kick out block, getting outside on the edge that time was John Ling, big number 59, and it allowed Wesley Faulkner to get to the edge.
There it is.
Actually, I'm sorry. Yeah. Get to the edge. Good job staying with your blocks down the field, and that's what you want to see.
So they're going to give him first down.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, there were a couple of raindrops that are falling out there. Nothing heavy at all. Almost looks like it just for about a nanosecond. But with these temperatures out here, they'll take any type of condensation.
Get back to that last play quickly. Connor Hands did a nice job, too, of once he saw it stretching, he saw a seam, he got north and south, he got to the sticks.
There's a handoff. And there's Faulkner.
Okay.
Faulkner fighting right at midfield before he's taken down by a host of tractor defenders. In on the tackle, Muhammad Bazzi. He was the first man at the point of attack. Also, Muhammad Trabulsi. You can see that's pretty inventive there. Bring yourself an umbrella, anything to keep some shade.
Yeah, well, it's going to double now because there's a few raindrops coming down. I think it's one of those days it's just so humid and so hot. The clouds kind of build up. Hopefully we just get a few raindrops and keep this game rolling. Because I know Canton right now feels like they're getting something going on the offensive side.
There you go. Drew Contos with a big first down run down to the 40-yard line. So big chunk yardage by that Chiefs offense.
It's just this type of offense, Johnny. I'm jabbing you. I'm jabbing you. I'm jabbing. You get tired, you just get hit in the chin. And there's a good look. And look how Trevino carries the ball fake out. Nice form tackle.
Beautiful
coming
by Antonio Gates.
By Antonio Gates. But they just keep – that's why you can't give up on the inside game. And those big fellas, you see hands on your knees right now, some of the defensive linemen for Fordson, you just keep hitting people. Those guards aren't running far. They're running about two yards. They don't get too tired.
There's the T again. And the handoff right up the middle. Not much doing at all. So, again, those big guys in there plugging up. That was Hussein Bazzi, one of the first men in on it. So now second and long for this Canton Chiefs offense. Clock continues to run. As you mentioned, they're still very much in this football game.
I really think it's important, though, that they can get points on this drive. You don't want to put yourself 3 scores because you're not in that type of offense. Great ball faking by Trevino that time. I think he got you, Johnny.
Yeah, faked it to Faulkner, and Trevino kept it on his own. So Trevino, again, that gives him an added dimension if he can pick up first downs with his legs.
Watch how he kind of hides it like he's got a loaf of bread at Thanksgiving, and it's the only bread that's left. He takes us, after he does the ball fake, does a really nice job of wrapping his arms, and all the other backs do it. You just can't have one guy. They all wrap their arms like they have the ball, and then all of a sudden the defenders, if they don't read their keys, they're chasing ghosts.
Down to the 31-yard line. Inside 7 minutes to play, second quarter's 3rd and 1. There's the handoff. And a first down from Drew Cantos, who continues to churn his feet. That's a big first down gain down near the 20-yard line. In fact, they're going to mark it right at the 20. So big chunk yardage. Approaching 6:40 to play here in the second.
Just a little trap, a little outside. Now that's the off tackle. It's designed. It's still a double down, but it's at the off tackle instead of right over the center guard area. It goes a little bit wider, and a good job by Cantos breaking some tackles. And as I said, I would almost want to. I know your team's getting tired offensively. Oh, if you could hurry up, get those big defensive linemen because they got some hosses up front. Fordson, the Tractors do. Two of them look like tractors, actually. Big. One, I couldn't believe that one, 300 pounds. We looked at him like, dang, he's moving. Uh-oh, Trevino.
Might be
up.
cramping a little bit.
Yes.
Take a look at number 4 in Scarlet. Took a seat there on the turf. Might be cramping up a little bit, and you can understand that.
Yeah. Happiest people on the field right now are 58, 99, 90, and 64 for Fordson. The 4 defensive linemen are like, sweet.
It is warm down there. And Brooke Fletcher can verify that. Fletch, what do you have?
Yeah, Johnny, you were given a little history lesson on Fordson's mascot, so it would only be right if they had a tractor at their school, right? Well, how cool is this story? 3 years ago, Fordson alumni and staff members were on a fishing trip, and they were driving back, and they came across another alumni, Earl Robinson's home, where he had a 1927 Fordson on display in his yard. So, of course, they had to stop and get a picture with it, right? Well, unfortunately, this past year, Earl passed away, and his brother Dale offered to donate it to the school. So a few members went to Brooklyn, Michigan to pick that bad boy up and brought it back to Fordson High School, and is now one of 3 tractors on display here at the school. Currently, it's outside of the cafeteria, but I was told that they're hoping to give it a new paint job, get that baby up and running, and hopefully put it on display in front of the school so people on Ford Road can see it when they drive by. What a sweet little donation from Earl, you guys.
It really is. I think there was a penalty on the play. We went down to Brooke with that story. Unsportsmanlike conduct came against the Canton Chiefs.
Wow, that's huge, Johnny. That's a huge penalty. You're down 1st and 10. You're moving the ball, and this is an offense that doesn't get, as a rule, chunk plays. You know, you pop that fullback trap every now and then, but now you're looking at 1st and 25.
I'm not sure what happened, and Arturo Trevino, again, will not be in on this snap. So instead they pitch it, and Canton with a little bit of running room. Josiah.
Yeah, that's a
Josiah West.
Yeah, that's a nice 7-yard gain. You would think, okay, put you in a 2nd and 3. But you look at a 1st and 25, so now you're only at a 2nd and 17, 18. Still a long way to go. You need 3 more real positive plays offensively. Let's go quick look at Andy LaFada, the head coach of the Chiefs. Very forthcoming. I love his quote.
Yeah.
Remember, what was his quote when he talked about they played Belleville last year? And they struggled running the inside trap, but he said, we don't have a scheme for Alabama recruits.
Yeah, talking about Damon Payne. Yeah, he single-handedly affected that game.
Oh, he blew it up. They couldn't move him. That double team, you have to get movement inside to allow the pulling guard to kind of belly off it and get the kick out. While he was just blowing it up at the point of attack. So, he was a different animal.
All right, so 2nd and 18. Again, the officiating crew talking things over. Coach Zaban on the far side, he wants a little bit of an explanation. Looks like a little bit of confusion as the officiating crew continues to talk this over. Again, 5.5 to play here in the 2nd quarter following the unsportsmanlike. Trevino remains out, which means Barrett Barker, the senior, is in there at quarterback. That's Coach Zaban. And it will continue to be 2nd and 18. Ball's on the 28-yard line. So the Canton Chiefs had a nice drive going. Backed themselves up with the unsportsmanlike. Let's see what they decide to do here. They've got to get down to the 10-yard line to pick up a 1st down. And again, the quarterback, number 11, now Barrett Barker in. And that play is going to be blown dead. So now looks like they've disrupted their own rhythm after Trevino went down, which we thought might have been cramping.
Yeah, it's amazing. Football, there's such a fine line between success and failure. you see a team having success, running the ball, moving it down the field. Then all of a sudden your quarterback might cramp up. You get a 15-yard penalty. Now you get a motion penalty. And now you put yourself way behind the sticks with a backup quarterback.
And there's Trevino taking some fluids there on the Canton sideline. So now the situation is 2nd and 23. Barrett Barker been thrust into the spotlight here on the Wayne State campus here for the kickoff classic. Canton trying to come up with his first points of the season. There's a snap. Again, a little miscommunication. Had a target, but overthrew Corbin James. He did have his tight end coming out, but again, wasn't able to set his feet. Ball sailed on him a little bit. Nice defensive stand by the Fordson D. Hey, we're going to be with you every Friday night, and a bonus here on Thursday. It's Football Fridays here on Bally Sports, and here's a look at where we're going to be the first month and a half of the season. Next Friday, we're going to be in Muskegon. Detroit Cass Tech headed to Muskegon. Week 3, it'll be a battle of Detroit as Cass Tech travels to Martin Luther King. Week 4, bringing the head-to-head battle of Traverse City's 2 biggest schools, TC Central and TC West. That will be out in the Lansing area in Week 5 as Grand Ledge takes on DeWitt. And Week 6, 2 primetime football programs face off with Lowell and East Grand Rapids. Back to pass. Barker picked off by Antonio Gates inside the 5-yard line.
Well, that's one of those plays as a coach you don't mind if you're Coach LaFada. You got your backup quarterback, you got 3rd and a mile. He throws it down and you get a tackle right after interception. That's a punt. That's like punting the ball on next down to the 5-yard line. So you got the tractors pent up, but still 450. And when you have the firepower they do on the outside, and here's another look at as Barker throws the ball. He's just heaving it. He just doesn't get enough on it. Gates measures it, and good job by Contos coming back and limiting the return. But, man, you if you're Coach Zaban right now, you got to think about, do we take a shot? I know we're on our 5-yard line. We've been having our way on the edge with Gates and his speed. Do we try to get a man matchup and just heave and let him go get it?
Well, Barker, again, you step into it, was able to step into that throw. But when you got Antonio Gates, that's what he does. I mean, he is a receiver. He went out, got at the highest point of contact. And I think right now, if you are Fordson, you maybe think about it because Antonio Gates is playing with a ton of confidence. He's made an impact in this game on both sides of the football. There's Alex Osman. Comes over the middle, got his man. Flag comes in late. But that'll be a first down to Hassan Shinawa.
Legal receiver downfield. I think one of the offensive linemen.
Pass intended for Shinawa, incomplete.
So you can say incomplete. I thought Shinawa held on to it. And wait to see the flag. Now you call it. Ineligible man downfield.
Illegal man downfield.
So Fordson already backed up. Doesn't hurt them a lot from a yardage standpoint. They're already tucked back near their own end zone. Again, Osman throws it low. I thought he...
Well, here's the deal. You see big number 56 that time. That was Jeffrey Burton for Fordson. What happens, you run those RPOs, those ball fakes, those linemen come out, they make contact like a run play. They want to show you run because it may be a run. And then they stay engaged. They start driving to get out on the field. Before you know it, you're 4 yards down. You can't do that. You have to stop. You don't get to drive block on an RPO in case the quarterback throws it.
Osman standing on the tee in his own end zone. He'll hand the football off. Not much doing. Maybe out to the 4.5-yard line.
Hussein Baydoun with the carry.
Hussein Baydoun
Nicholas with the tackle.
Picks up a couple of yards, gives him a little bit of breathing room, at least takes him out of his own end zone.
A gain of 2.
So they're going to give him 2 yards on the carry, approaching 4 minutes to play. That'll bring up 2nd and long. Again, in no real hurry here is that Fordson offense. Alex Osman's had a nice start to this football game. I mentioned he's completing about 60% of his passes a season ago. It helps when he got a guy number 7 on the outside named Antonio Gates Jr. Fakes the handoff this time. Osman swallowed up in the backfield. That's going to be a sack. A nice job of pursuit by the Canton defense. And Julian Lockett in there for a loss of 3.
Well, Lockett does a nice job coming from the backside. Osman's not going to see him. A ball fake, he steps, and there you see it. Pressure coming from the back end that time. A great job That's looking at Lockett there. That's a nice job of flattening out, too, by Lockett and really getting it down quickly. Now, your Fordson here, I think they're being really smart with the clock. They're running the play clock down, realizing that this offense of Canton needs the way they run the ball. Even if they're having success, it's tough for them to go over 50 yards in 4 minutes because they use so much of the clock.
So you got an opportunity to flip the field. There's Osman over the middle and knocked away. Did have his intended target, had him by a step, but incomplete. That's going to bring up 4th down in a punting situation. And if you are Canton, again, you talk to the young man, Barrett Barker, and say, okay, you're going to get another chance here if Arturo Trevino can't go. You settled in. Now he's got a series under his belt, and he got an opportunity to put some points on the board with favorable field position.
We see Trevino running the side. We had to look on the sideline. Him and Barker are talking to each other. But, do you think about, do you go after this punt? I don't. Because if you rough him here, it's a 15-yard penalty. It's not an automatic first down, but it's 4th and 12. And if you don't get it and you rough him, you give them the first down. Where you have a great opportunity. You should get the ball on the plus side of the 50 if you can just catch this ball.
Hadi Saad, fortunate to get it away. Hanging on. That's a safety.
Oh, he took a knee.
He took a knee in the end zone. From where we were sitting, it looked like he went down to get it. We'll take another look at it.
Yeah, but to tell you what, that's almost a cloud with a silver lining if you're Fordson. You're giving up 2 points. You're coming out to 20. You're going to punt, and now you're going to flip the field. That ball was going to die dead on about the 35-yard line, and you're giving him a great opportunity. You see here, right here. It was close, but he was down.
Yep, Hadi Saad had to go down to get it.
It's tough to blame Hadi on that one, too, isn't it? I mean, that's just a reaction.
Yeah, low snap.
Yeah, you go down to get it.
First points of the game, first points of the season for the Canton Chiefs. Comes off a safety. Don't go anywhere. Chiefs back in action right after this. High school football fans, make sure to tune in again next week as we continue to bring you Football Fridays here on Bally Sports. Week 2 is a West Side versus East Side powerhouse matchup. Muskegon and Detroit Cass Tech. Our coverage begins at 7 o'clock. That's on Friday, September the 3rd. Don't miss any of the action for Football Fridays only on Bally Sports Plus. Look at how beautiful that field is. I've been there once. I'm very much looking forward to getting back out there next week.
I've never been there. I had a couple teammates at Grand Valley that were big Reds, but I've never been to Hackley Field. I hear it's quite a sight.
That it is. Looking forward to bringing that one to you. And here's the kick away from Fordson. And Josiah West back for Canton. West with some running room. Up near the 50-yard line. He's up to the 40, let's call it the 43.
West.
So plenty of time. And Josiah West, the junior return man, is going to give him favorable starting field position. And let's see who's in there quarterback. Yep. So Trevino is back, number 4 in red.
Now, just because you're on your own 43 and there's 241, the hurry-up might be a little different than you normally see. Canton may be in a hurry-up, but they're still running the ball. They're just hurrying up to the line and maybe calling their full house tee play, one of the 3 or 4 that they run out of that, because you see them, they're still in their standard set.
Trevino back under center, hands it off, running room. Faulkner up inside the 45-yard line. They're going to mark him down at the 44. That's a first down on the first carry of this possession.
Well, real quickly, let's take a look at that safety and why it was called a safety. You can see the snap is low, the punter goes down, has the ball, knee on the ground. That's a great job by the official. I missed it. Johnny, I think you may have missed it. I know you were signaling safety up here, but I think you saw the official do it, to be with all honesty. But, yeah, that's in high school, I mean, you're automatically down. College as well. The only time you're allowed to do that, when, extra point.
Oh, sure.
If the guy,
yeah, for sure.
If he bobbles the snap, the holders, if he's on the knee, he can get up and go. I believe.
That's what
now we could have Brian Henry, our producer. He's the fact checker. He knows high school football like no one I know. But I believe that's okay. That the holder can get up off the knee. When we just saw that get back to that play, that was a nice. That's what I'm saying. They're not going in a hurry up where they're throwing the ball around. They're still going to run it.
For sure.
They've got room inside now. That trap is starting to work.
Trevino to Faulkner again. Faulkner with running room. Faulkner trying to throw the stiff arm. Faulkner stays on his feet at the 25. Finally steps out of bounds near the 20-yard line. Wesley Faulkner refusing to go down.
And this is the counter. We've seen him run it. You're going to watch both backs go to the right. Faulkner's going to be on your right. He counter steps. It comes back at you. Nice job by Janes leading up to the hole. Faulkner uses the old school stiff arm a little bit on Sayad. And then he just does the rush. He won't go down Antonio Gates. And then a nice job. I'm glad the officials did not flag this. Even though he was out of bounds, he kind of thudded him up. There was no intent. And he stopped. He held him up. And that's a good job by the officials, maintaining control, yet not penalizing anyone for something that I believe wasn't worth it.
I really appreciate the efforts of Faulkner on this drive. He'll get a blow. They're going to hand it off this time to Caleb Williams. Not much doing. First man in to get him.
Saban. I think that's Coach's son, right?
That it is, Mohamed Zaban.
Coach says about his son, he says he's limited in physical attributes. Not super tall, not super big, not super fast, but he said he plays intelligent, he plays with a lot of heart, and he plays with no quit. If I believe I got that. I mean, he's just very proud.
The biggest or fastest, yep.
You know, it's hard when you're a head coach, your son plays for you. You're obviously very proud of him, but you don't want to come across all gushy. And I think Coach Saban did a nice job of just telling us that his son's a pretty good football player without being boastful or a braggart.
No, very well said. Not the biggest, fastest. More often than not, he gets to where he needs to be and makes the play. Last year, actually led the team with 32 tackles. So there's Coach Saban coming out now. Again, his football team played a really good quarter and a half. And again, you have the unfortunate mishaps, punting out of your own end zone. You give up the safety. That's not the end of the world. How do you respond from it?
Sudden change.
Got to talk about it. Right. Let's take a look at this one more time. Wesley Faulkner.
Now this is the counter. You saw that both backs go to the right, the left and the fullback go right. The right halfback takes a counter step like he's going right. He comes back, leads through the hole, keeps fighting. If you're Sayad there, you're thinking, where's my help? You're holding them up. You expect some other white jerseys to come and help you out. And they finally did, but what a nice effort run by Faulkner.
Yeah, Faulkner been the leading rusher for this Canton Chiefs offense.
Yeah, Badger's been quiet.
Badger has, and that was the guy really we keyed in and coming into this game. Averaged better than 10 yards per carry a season ago. Had 13 touchdowns, which led the Chiefs. But Faulkner, keep this in mind, he didn't give as many touches a year ago, but he averaged better than 6.5 yards per carry.
But he's the right half, and they run a lot of the counter where you've been hitting him with the trap, and then you run both backs to the right, and you bring him on a counter jab step, and he comes back to the left. It's not what the defense over pursues to the early ball fake, and then he gets a lot of open lanes. This Fordson defense has played well. They've got up 2 points, and that's the punting team gave up that. So they've bent a little bit here in the second quarter, but they haven't broken yet. And still with a minute 33, a second down and 10. They got their backs to, they're defending their own end zone here, but it's still on Canton to make a big play.
2nd and 11. Handoff up the middle, not much doing. It'll be Josiah West, picks up a couple of yards. You talk about that Canton Chiefs offense, they averaged 39 points per game a season ago. So this is obviously a team that knows how to score the football. So you do definitely tip your cap to the efforts of the Tractor defense.
But those 39 points are scored on their terms. Other words, they're scored in the first, second, and third quarter when their offense is doing what it's supposed to do. Wear you down, pop the big play, get you tackling people who don't have the football. When they're coming from behind, it's a little different animal. But they're doing a pretty good job here in the second quarter. Now they just got to finish this ball moving, these nice plays with some points.
3rd and 9. Trevino. They're going to burn a timeout here and talk it over. When we come back, we'll first see exactly what they dial up here. The Chiefs trying to find the end zone for the first time here in the 2021 campaign. You're watching the Kickoff Classic here on Bally Sports. 3rd and 9, Rob Rubick from the 19-yard line. What do you draw up if you're Coach LaPont?
Well, I'm going to run it twice. Now, what do I run? What did you set up? The whole time you're an offense coordinator in this type of offense, you're setting one play up with the previous play. They had some success with the counter. Now they're going a little different look. You're going to see one of these two wings probably motion.
There's the motion. Fake pitch. Trevino rolling near side. Trevino had his man. There's going to be a flag. He was looking for his tight end, Corbin James, and there was contact in the secondary.
This is such a tough call on Zaban, but it's the right call. He was trying to play the football. He was making a play, but by doing so, he impeded James, the receiver's ability to catch it. And people think if you're making a play on the ball, that's not pass interference. That's a misnomer. If you're making a play on the ball and you hinder the other person's free opportunity to make a play, that's pass interference. And we're going to look here. I believe it was Zabon, number 33. He's got him by the jersey, then he stumbles and he takes the legs out. That's a wonderful. I think this officiating crew, personally, besides a few times it took them too long to decide what's going on, but besides that, they've done a really nice job. They've let the kids play. They're not throwing the unnecessary flags, so a really good job because it's their first game of the year too, remember.
First and goal from the 10-yard line. Trevino with the tee behind him. Hands off to Faulkner this time. He is stuffed. Muhammad Bazzi, one of the first men in on it. Muhammad Zaban also in there on the tackle for that Fordson defense. Clock continues to run. That'll bring up second down from the 11-yard line. Got to move quickly here.
Second goal from the 11.
Trevino trying to get his offense to the line. 24 ticks remaining in the second quarter. Trevino rolling to his right. Has a little bit of daylight inside the 10, down to the 5. Does he get out of bounds? He does. That'll stop the clock at 14 and a half seconds remaining. That'll bring up third and goal.
All right, it's strategy time, Johnny Kane. You got third down and goal on the 4, and you're Coach LaFava, and you're thinking, now, if we run it, we have no timeouts, correct?
They have one left.
They do. I'm looking at the board. That must be wrong. It says Fordson has 2 that they have none on the scoreboard. All right, well, if they have 1, that's different. If they have 1, you have your whole playbook.
Right. You're right.
If they have 1, but if not, you have to have an outside run with maybe a pass option for Trevino, or you got to run side by boot with a pass.
Trevino over the middle has his tight end. And how about Corbin James with the first touchdown of the season for the Canton Chiefs? And we have a football game.
All right, let's take a look. James is going to be lined up on the right. He's the tight end. Let's pause it on the beginning of this replay if we can. Just pause it, and everyone can find him. And what I like is Trevino's going to take the snap. He's to your right. He's in the 3-point. He looks a little ball fake. Boom. Everything has been going to the left. All the back action, everything's been going that way. Even though he opens to the right, it's just an easy pitch and catch, well-designed play. Coach LaFava's been having that one in his back pocket for the whole first half. He said, I got to use it sometime, and that time it worked.
Perfect play call,
Amazing.
perfect execution. And, hey, it's 13-8. You want to make it a 3-point game. They're going to go for 2.
I don't think they are. I'd kick it.
Well, Trevino's back there to kick. They just put the tee down. And guess who's there to hold? Barrett Barker. So you got 2 quarterbacks. Trevino, the lefty, boots it through. You don't want to chase points this early in the game. Is that what you're telling me?
Yep, absolutely.
13
they just got a point.
It is.
They just got a point. That's a good thing.
Okay.
They just scored another point. I'm a big believer in once you get into the fourth quarter, everything changes. But until then, you just take the points that are there, and you have a good kicker. As you saw, Trevino just nailed it through the uprights. A 13-9 game, huh? That's great. I mean, for a while there, you're seeing Antonio Gates was kind of, along with his quarterback, Alec Osman, were taking the game over. It looks like it might get out of hand, but this offense and the patience of Coach Andy LaFava and some good play calling as well and well executed there. As you can see, the touchdown pass from Trevino to James. And you got a ball game. And that safety, the bad break on the safety.
You almost feel like they tried some things early on.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to air it out a little bit. They took their lumps, and then they went back to what their bread and butter, what they do. And Fordson, to this point, has shown a little bit of vulnerability in trying to stop that offense. So I think you're feeling good. The momentum has now swung. If you're Canton, you say, look, we're going to go back to doing what we do.
This is what we do. You don't change your DNA part of the way through a football game because things aren't going well. You're still going to keep pounding the rock, keeping it inside, run what you do. Have that in your pocket. Now, you've got your quarterback outside a few times with a run-pass option, and you've been successful. So the defense knows you have that ability, and that's all you need is the threat. If you have that threat, it opens things up inside.
Canton to kick it away. Up underneath. Fordson at the 25-yard line. And
Hard from the 5-yard line on the kickoff return.
It was Ahmed Hart.
Nicholas, number 7, with the tackle.
Hart was the deep man for the Fordson Tractors, so now with 5.6 seconds remaining in the half, You got to figure Osman's going to come out to take a knee. Feel good about it. Up 4.
I got number 7.
Take a shot?
Why not?
Take a shot?
Throw it to him. You got 10
Okay.
guys that they pick it off and come back and tackle. I throw it
Okay.
to number 7.
I like your logic.
And if you're Canton, you got to give them the natural 15 to 20-yard cushion. Now they're going to take a knee. I'm seeing where Alex Osman's going way back there. Maybe not.
Osman's
by number
about
7.
7 yards behind it. No, he.
Okay. And
All right, 7's on the near side of your screen.
If you're a defensive back, you say, do not bite on their first move. Do not bite.
There it is. It will be a knee. So about that for first half to get this kickoff classic going.
Not bad, partner.
Alex Osman and the Fordson offense look good. Antonio Gates with a couple of first half touchdowns, also had a big INT to stuff out what would have been a scoring drive by Canton there in the second quarter.
You know, Brooke Shields, she's going to grab Coach Zaban, I believe, the leading coach on the way out. And I think he's going to be a little disappointed. I think he felt he had his game kind of in hand, as you could in the first half. They were scoring some big touchdowns. They were having their way on the outside in the perimeter. And maybe we could find out when Brooke talks to Coach Zaban what he has in store for us in the second half.
Yeah, I think if I'm the Canton Chiefs and if I'm the Canton fans that have made this trip down here, like you got to feel good about where you are.
Absolutely.
Down 4. But how good has Antonio Gates been for that Fordson offense? Let's send it downstairs. Brooke Fletcher standing by with head coach Fuad Zaban.
Coach, Canton seemed to pick up some steam there in the second quarter, but you guys have to be, or you have to be proud with how your team performed in the first half, putting up 13 points. What impressed you?
Honestly, I am proud of our kids playing hard and doing their jobs and being in position to make plays against their offense because they do such a good job of deception. But I'm not happy with the way we finished, you know, that second half of that second quarter.
Well, I mean, how do you get that momentum going that you had in that first quarter?
Well, I think we got to get the ball back here, and you know, at the third quarter, and hopefully we can put a drive together and go back up and score another touchdown.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Johnny, back to you.
All right, Fletch. Coach Zaban with a 4-point lead. He and the Tractors, and here's how they got there. Alex Osman reaching back, throwing deep. Antonio Gates Jr., 1 of 2 receiving touchdowns in the first half of play. And then back comes Arturo Trevino right over the middle to his tight end, Big Corbin James. We got a football game here in the Kickoff Classic at Wayne State University.
Halftime of the first game of the Zenith Prep Kickoff Classic. Dearborn Fordson races to a 13-0 lead. Canton responds with 9 points, 13-9 at the break with another game to come. Welcome back to Tom Adams Field here at Wayne State. If you're a kid or a kid's parent in the state of Michigan or now beyond, you're probably familiar with the Legacy Sports Center in Brighton. And over their 12 years of existence, they have impacted 150,000 youth players. Justin Sassante is their National Director of Football Operations. How delighted are you to see football players on a football field again?
It's a relief. Obviously, after the year we just had, the missed opportunities for these young men, it was really hard to stomach last year, even seeing partial of the season being suspended or whatnot. So, yeah, we're very excited and excited to have a full year of football.
How does Legacy impact football players in your experience and the success stories that you can recall?
Yeah, well, we start off with the grassroots and the foundation of people. This is a people impact business, and we want to make sure that we first lay the foundation for social awareness, education, leadership, and then obviously the development and the competition is for the football.
We're all building up to November 28th, which is the Legacy Prep All-Star Game at the facility in Brighton. And really, Justin, the kids taking snaps now are sort of setting the stage for invitations to your game.
We already have hundreds of nominations. We launched in June, legacyfootballorg.com. And, traditionally we've had about 500 nominations for this game, and I think we're going to break it this year. It's an amazing opportunity for these kids to showcase their skills after a tough football season.
And for a lot of these kids, it's a last gasp, really, to get some college coaches to see them who might have some spots on their team and say, you know what, this kid would look great in my program. It's very important to the kids and perhaps some of the smaller colleges around the state of Michigan and around the Midwest.
Yeah, well, we looked at all the all-star games, and they're all great for the kids, but we wanted to give them something while they were still in football shape and a platform that would help the underrated guys or the guys that get as much exposure, especially now with this climate and the pandemic, which is very much needed. And we wanted to give them an opportunity to showcase their skills one last time for the D2, D3, NAIA, and a lot of coaches around the state that are D1 guys are watching on TV on that Sunday. How
tough is it to get high school kids to sort of figure out what to do in an all-star game when they've not even met some of their football teammates all of a sudden?
Yeah, well, we have fantastic coaching staff, a lot of former NFL guys, college guys that took time in coaching in college. And, these aren't normal football players. They're coming out. They are even underrated. They are still elite football players, elite athletes. And they pick up very well. Going into our fourth year of this game, it's been a tremendous surprise, and I've been impressed with the kids.
You mentioned the pandemic. How tough has it been to keep kids engaged?
Yeah, it's been tough, and a lot of heartache, a lot of stories that bring a lot of emotions out, and I think the kids for the first time really strive for discipline. They strive for opportunities, and there's a lot of gratitude, and I don't think a lot of the kids on the football field today or this season are going to take anything for granted because of it. So there is some silver lining, but the difficulties that came through competition, keeping them occupied, doing something they love, and getting recruited was all there because of the pandemic.
All right, the All-Star Game at Legacy Sports Center is November 28th, and we will have that game for you here on Bally Sports. Antonio Gates, certainly one of the stars in the state of Michigan already, and we're only a half of football in because Antonio Gates has 2 touchdowns in the first game he's played, 2 terrific passes from Alex Osman. Former Michigan quarterback Devin Gardner breaks it all down for us, and he joins us next. Well, this is just the start. There are 2 more days to come here in Wayne State. We'll stream 2 games tomorrow and Saturday on BallySports.com/Detroit. And then our next over-the-air telecast is an absolute dandy. Next Friday, we'll be on the west side of the state along Lake Michigan as 2 Division I powers meet up. Castech at Muskegon. The following weekend, Castech goes up against their rival Detroit Martin Luther King. Then we're way up north in Traverse City as Central will play west there. We got a game in the middle between Grand Ledge and the number 1 team of the state right now, DeWitt. And then perennial powers Lowell and East Grand Rapids meet up on Bally Sports Detroit. Football Fridays here on your home of high school football. What about the game to come, the second game here tonight? We'll look into that when we continue on this Thursday afternoon. If you like your football with a dash of heat, you have come to the right place, to downtown Detroit, where the temperature at game time was 88 with a feels-like temperature of 97. So welcome to the 2021 football season. John Keating joined by former Michigan quarterback Devin Gardner, who will call the second game alongside Johnny Kane. As we begin, it's always great to see you, first of all. As we begin, what were your impressions of the first half between Canton and Dearborn Fordson here?
It was fun to watch. Everybody came to see the young guy, Antonio Gates Jr., go and perform, and he put on a show for at least that first half.
How tough can it be to play in these conditions the first game out? You can replicate all that stuff as you want in the summer workouts, but until you're on a football field, man, it's got to be taxing.
Yeah, that first one is always tough, right? Because you haven't been hit. Like, the hitting in real games and practice are totally different, and they're getting a chance to do it out there today. And this heat is something you cannot replicate. It says it's 90, feels like 135 for you and I. So with that football uniform on, it has to be worse.
Hydrate is what the coaches have been probably preaching to these kids for probably a couple of days now, right?
Absolutely. You can see Ken's quarterback had some issues with cramping already because of the heat.
Yeah.
And so that plays a big factor into the game and what could happen at the end.
All right, a spectacular finale to the two-game doubleheader here. It's Detroit Catholic Central and Chippewa Valley.
Yeah.
This could be a bit of a shootout, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think it could, right? You got two quarterbacks who are seniors who are very, very talented. You got Declan Bow, right, who comes into this year, the previous year, getting out of the playoffs a little early, but going undefeated in the season, winning the Catholic League outright. And then Ryan Schuster, right, the pedigree of the Schuster quarterbacking family.
Yeah.
He has a little brother that's going to play when he leaves, and he continues to develop and perform, and he worked a lot on getting bigger and stronger this year.
Yeah, the Schusters are a terrific story. We'll have more on that as our day unfolds into the evening when Catholic Central takes on Chippewa Valley. But we still have a half of football between Dearborn Fordson and the Canton Chiefs. Who gets their season started with a smile? Johnny and Rob take over again next.
The Canton Chiefs with 9 unanswered points to make this a football game. We're getting ready to start the third quarter. It'll be Dearborn Fordson who will possess the football first. We'll bring the second half kick right after this. Welcome back to Wayne State University. Let's get downstairs. Brooke Fletcher standing by with head coach Andy LaFata.
Coach, in the beginning of the game, it seemed like your offense was struggling a little bit, but you seemed to find your stride in those last few drives in the second half. What adjustment did you make, or in the second quarter, I mean?
Not much. Just Canton being Canton. We got to get back to our identity, who we are. We had some kids kind of going down here and there, so we just figure out which ones we're in and figure out the puzzle after that.
Your quarterback, Arturo, you told him coming into this game he needs to remember to breathe. It seemed like he had some jitters in the beginning, but he seemed to find his composure. What was your message to him at halftime?
Yeah, a little bit. He's just a great leader, ready to go. I mean, he took a nice shot out there, but he rallied the troops, so we'll see how this works the second half with him.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Johnny, back to you.
Well, you know, you look at this, Johnny, and LaFata did a good job because it doesn't start out very well. You see Antonio Gates from Alex Osman getting behind Caleb Williams, and once isn't enough, let's do it twice. Once again, you see Osman, he's just loading up the cannon there, and he lets it go, and Gates uses the extra gear to go and get it. And then a tough break. This really seemed to change the game. You get the safety as Hadi Saad goes down to get the low snap. He takes it in, you get the safety. Now you get the punt, and following the punt, you look at Canton Chiefs able to move the ball down the field. And nice job by Arturo Trevino finding Mr. James in the end zone, and Corbett does a good job of just finding the seam between the safeties. Touchdown, and what looked like a game that could get away from Canton now is a 13-9 game heading into the second half.
Yeah, heck of a football game. There's Antonio Gates Jr. getting his pads just right, get it tight. He's had a big first half, 2 touchdowns and 1 INT. And it is going to be Dearborn Fordson who will possess the football. So we'll get a chance to see big number 7 there on the outside. And again, interesting what the Canton Chiefs decided to do. They didn't want to double up necessarily. They wanted to use one of their best corners against Gates. Gates has won a couple of individual battles. We'll see if you talk to LaFata, he always says about solving the puzzle. We'll see if he makes a modification, how they decide to defend number 7 here.
That's a great point. But the first series, they actually were doubling him. They had Williams playing a little bit deeper, and a linebacker kind of walked out on him to take the underway stuff. But they kind of went away from that once Fordson was able to run the ball against him. They had to bring another backer inside.
All right, Fordson up near the 23-yard line and taken back a little bit is Ahmed Harb. So the Tractors in the maize and blue, they're wearing white today. They will start from their own 24-yard line, leading by 4 here in the Prep Kickoff Classic on Bally Sports. Johnny Kane and Rob Rubick with you. You just heard from our sideline reporter, Brooke Fletcher, who caught up with head coach Andy LaFata on the other half of this break. We heard from Fuad Zaban, the head coach at Dearborn Fordson, heading into the half. 2 coaches with a ton of respect for one another. There's LaFata. He has been coaching a long time assistant before taking over in 2018. Alex Osman. Look at 3 receivers on the near side, and they'll hand the football off. So they spread them out, and a handoff. Julian Lockett in on the tackle.
Well, number 21, Julian Lockett, he's going to come from the right side of the screen. He flattens out well. We talked about that early on. and just does a nice job. Did you see him also check, though, for any misdirection, any reverse plays? Once he knew it wasn't coming, he went flat down the line and used some speed to make the play.
Not much doing for Leonard Covington. There's Osman now. 2 receivers to the high side, 2 on the near side. Covington to his right. Osman in the yellow cleats. All sorts of time. He's looking over the top and overthrows his intended target. He was looking for Hakeem El-Gami, but incomplete, overthrows him.
Yeah, Aljani was running the deep post that time, but the coverage was better. You saw in position, a nice job. Getting in position was Josiah West. And we're going to look here. He wants to go. You see the outrun underneath. But West does a good job and has every opportunity to make the play. Big 3rd down and 10. Fordson hasn't faced this much so far in this game. They've been, in control offensively.
There was good pressure by Julian Lockett, which altered the throw of Osman. He wasn't able to throw it on the line that he wanted to. So 3rd and long. Osman rolling to his right. Osman coming back underneath. Enough for the first down. And a great job by Muhammad Sayad of catching the football, making a little move, getting north, and picking up the first down, moving the chains.
A little bit different here. You're going to see Antonio Gates, number 7. He's going to clear it out. He's going to flush it, which allows Hassad to sit down in it, and then he makes a nice move in the field. And we get another look here. You don't always get the ball. You don't always have to be the go-to guy. He runs a deep out, which allows the shallow out to be open, and nice catch and then run after.
1st and 10. Osman hands it off. Lots of running room. And up near inside the 40-yard line, Leonard Covington with his biggest run of the afternoon. Covington with all sorts of room. And that's going to move the chains in a big way.
And we talked in the first half, you're going to spread out. You're going to commit 6 people in coverage wide. You got 5 in the box, and that's tough. That puts a lot of pressure on your 3 defensive line, your 2 linebackers, because it's man-on-man blocking. There's a helmet for everyone. Your entire defensive front is accounted for by the offensive line, and it doesn't need much. And you saw Covington, what he can do with a little bit of an opening.
Yeah, Covington, a nifty running back. Nifty and shifty. Down near the 30-yard line. Fordson coming out, opening this 3rd quarter with a ton of momentum. Osman hands it off. Covington one more time, makes the first man miss. Covington at the 10, 5, forget it. Leonard Covington with a touchdown for Fordson.
32-yard touchdown run.
Starting to sound like a broken record, Johnny, but any coach worth his salt, you're going to see right here. Covington, chance to get him down early on was Salowich, but nothing there, and then Covington just uses his speed. But that's wide open. That's just, you got 5 on 5. If you just get a helmet on a helmet offensively, there's no one in there. You have your 6 coverage people are wide, too. It's not like they're in the middle of the field. They're all spread out. And right now the OC for Fordson just saying, hey, we just keep running it. They're going to sit out there and take our receivers away. Fine, we'll just run it.
Yeah, what an answer. Covington with a 32-yard touchdown run. Henny Saad
into 2 nice runs after. In that drive.
Saad pulls it left.
No good.
So he had 2 misses now on the point after tries, but how about the effort of number 4 in white, Leonard Covington. Osman with the handoff. Covington makes Salowich miss, and then they're all in pursuit after that. A 10-point advantage for the Maize and Blue.
Well, the Tractors are having success, Johnny, and this is one of the reasons why. You can see 5, they have 6 in the box, but the one linebacker to the near side on the bottom, he's going to go out a little bit, and it's just going to create a huge seam inside. Just a helmet on a helmet for the Tractors, and inside that. The outside backer doesn't even come into play to the near side. And then Covington breaks 1 little tackle. He makes 1 miss. We'll get another look here. It's just, look at this. Your running back, a good job at the point. Parker Salowich had a chance to make the play. He couldn't get off the block in time. But I believe you're going to continue to see Covington to put up numbers here until Canton decides we got to walk at least a 6th man down inside to help a little bit more often.
Fordson kicks it away, but the flag on the play, it's going to come back. They're going to do this one more time. Again, we talked about some of the playmakers there for Fordson. Antonio Gates Jr. obviously hurts you on the outside. Leonard Covington on the inside. Mohamed Sayad, another talented player, and of course their quarterback Alex Osman. So this is a team that I mentioned going into this. This is a team that preseason picked to finish 2nd in the KLAA East.
Well, that's just bad luck because who else is in that division?
Yeah, right.
Belleville,
right. And again, you take away last year when they gave up 69 points in week 2 to Belleville. They had a really nice season, rattled off 5 wins after that. But, you got to appreciate the job that Coach Zaban has done now in his 15th season. They have 14 straight winning campaigns. Of course, the format changes for the postseason this year with a point system. Some of these teams that are in these tough divisions.
A lot of people have to take a graduate class to figure it out, I think. I was trying to read up on it the other day. What a kick by Saad. Wow.
Nice kick. Caleb Williams back deep for the Chiefs. Williams with a little bit of room gets to the outside. Up past the 20-yard line, knocked out at about the 25, making the 26-yard line. So the Canton Chiefs will get an opportunity here. Quick strike from the Fordson offense coming out of the halftime tunnel. And now Canton will have an opportunity to possess it for the first time here in the 3rd.
And let's see if Fordson comes out with the same defensive philosophy they started the game with. And their philosophy to start was pinch inside, bring the backer, squeeze everything down, force it to the edge, and allow our safeties come up and make the plays on the edge. Take the inside game away because halfway through the 2nd quarter, Canton start having success inside on the trap and the off tackle.
Trevino up under center, hands it off to Faulkner. Faulkner trying to follow his blockers, picks up a couple of yards on 1st down to bring up 2nd and 6.
That's a win. 3 yards. I mean, when you run a wing tee, triple option, a Delaware wing tee, whatever you want to call it, there's so like Navy runs. 3 to 4 yards is a win because you're gonna you watch Army, they go for it on 4th down 80% of the time because they're in a 4th and a half a yard or 4th and 1. And that was a win. That was 4 yards on 1st down.
2nd 6. Again, bunch formation. There's the pitch back. And up near the 1st down marker, I think they're going to give it to him. Number 6, Connor Hands. That's going to move the chain, so 1st down for Canton. How tough is this schedule coming up for the Chiefs of Canton? Well, Fordson here in the Kickoff Classic. Then they travel to Howell in week 2.
They don't have to travel far for Plymouth.
No, they don't. No,
that's a complex where they have Salem, Plymouth, and Canton all share the same school buildings. They share Northville, Novi, Brighton's always solid.
Yep.
Heartland's been tough.
Handoff. No, fakes the handoff. Trevino keeps it himself around the far side. And Trevino up near midfield. That'll move the chains one more time. Arturo Trevino.
You know when your offense is deceptive is when the cameraman struggles following the football, and you're going to see Trevino. Really good job. Nice job carrying out the fake by the fullback Badger as well. Trevino's got some scoots now. He can get to the edge. He's long-legged. He's a strider. But once you get into space, he covers some turf. Nice job peeling back inside. That's what you want to see. That's Julian Boudreau. Peeling back, getting one more block, allowing Trevino to pick up a few extra yards down the field.
Boudreau been really good on the offensive front. 3-year starter for that team. You saw Mohamed Zaban in pursuit, but not before the Chiefs pick up 1st down up near midfield. Trevino this time hands it off. Caleb Williams gets to the edge past the 40. Makes one man miss. Finally knocked out of bounds. Ahmed Beydoun able to bring him down, but not before the Chiefs of Canton pick up another 1st down.
Well, you want to have success. Your tight ends, Corbin Janes and Tommy Sokol, got to do a good job. This is just a jet sweep. But since you write everything so much inside, Johnny, with that trap and the off tackle, you run the edge play to keep him honest. And we're going to look here. That's a good job by Sokol passing the block. And Faulkner does a good job of picking up. Sokol kind of passed the defensive end to Faulkner, who picked him up. But good speed by Williams. Caleb Williams getting to the edge.
1st and 10. Fullback trap. Nothing doing for Josiah West. That time the Fordson defense all over it. That'll bring up 2nd and long. No gain on the play. Some of those big bodies from Fordson High School.
I got to apologize. 54, we have 2 different rosters for Fordson, and one of them he's not even on because I want to make sure.
Javon Parker.
Is that who that is?
West on the carry.
Okay. They list
Parker
him at,
with the tackle.
is he the one they list at 6'4", 300?
They got Parker listed at 6'4", 300.
Oh my! That's no hummingbird. No.
That's and there's an inside handoff. Couple of yards on the play from Drew Cantos before he's swallowed up. One of the men in on the tackle, Muhammad Trabulsi.
Definitely 4-down territory in this offense. You have 3rd down and 8. No panic here. It's not like, it's 3rd and 8. We have to throw the football. We need 8 yards. You keep doing what you're doing. Maybe you hit him with the fullback trap. Fordson, you have to believe the tendency of a young man who's thinking football a little bit, think, that's 3rd and 8. I'm going to get into my pass rush mode here. So maybe they open their body up for a trap a little bit easier. Makes your blocking angles better. They try this double wing, and they always motion one, so they end up basically in an I formation.
West lined up directly behind Trevino. Trevino back to pass, all sorts of time. Throws into traffic. Picked off a 2nd time by Antonio Gates, and he's got a convoy. Gates trying to get to the edge. He's at the 40. The 51 man to beat. Antonio Gates. Forget it.
Penalty markers on the play.
There is a flag.
Pass intercepted by number 7, Antonio Gates.
You know, Johnny, it's kind of like I didn't want to tell you it wasn't a Santa Claus because I saw the flag come out. You were in the middle of a great call, by the way, and it's going to come back. You're going to have a block in the back. And, it was one of those blocks that had no relevance to the play. Just don't make it. Think football. Gates had already turned the corner, was going down the other side of the field, and you were halfway through a fantastic touchdown call. And now the officials are discussing this.
I think it was Muhammad Sayad, number 24. And we'll take a look at it when we get it. And there is Gates, who is having an absolute monster day here at Wayne State University. And if I'm Mel Tucker at Michigan State, I am saying we got ourselves a football player. Now, this one will not count. There's Trevino back to pass, Rubes. Throws it right into traffic.
And that's the 2nd one. There it is. That's kind of.
It was.
Well, and if nothing else, it's a blind side. I think it was.
After the interception, we have a blindside block.
Blindside block.
He wasn't aware.
4-yard line. So we're going to go half the distance
to the goal.
Then, at the end of the play, we have an unsportsmanlike on Fordson. So we're going to go half the distance. So it'll be Fordson's ball from the 1-yard line.
Wow. So
they still get the ball. Bottom line, they get the ball. And Gates gets credited with his 2nd interception of the game.
Well, wait a sec. So
the penalty here.
But I thought he said 4th and something.
No, Fordson maybe.
Okay.
But they're going to get the ball. They're going to mark the first penalty from the blind side, and they're going to mark off the personal foul from there. So they're going to be.
Or it was unsportsmanlike. I think because he might have flipped into the end zone. Kids being kids. The no fun police out here.
Did you flip into the end zone as a kid?
If I just ran one back 95 yards, I might.
I'd be looking for oxygen.
Okay, so let's unpack this. There's Zabon. I can understand why he's upset because that breaks this game wide open. You're halfway through the 3rd quarter. That's a big swing in this game. Doggone, you can't take away from the absolute phenomenal game.
It is, but that was the right call. It was.
Oh, it was the right call.
Yeah, the tackler for Canton never saw the block.
Yeah, blindside block. So, take a deep breath. Now you're Fordson pinned back inside your own 1-yard line. They've already had one safety. That was, of course, on a punting opportunity, but you got to protect the football, especially with Osman lined up in the shotgun set. They're going to spread them out here. And if you're Canton, you might just take a shot, bring pressure. Low snap. Osman dancing around the back of the end zone, threw it away.
That's almost a safety there. That's close.
That was
he did have Covington leaking out. In high school, they're a little less lenient, though. In the pros and college, they give you a lot more leeway. But he pretty much just spikes this ball into the ground about 5 yards away. Covington is about 10. He just throws it into the ground. You see Covington as the ball bounces down the field. He is there.
That's close.
Intent for intentional grounding was there, but the rule states, if there's a receiver in the area, which Covington was, so correct call. But
officials have done a good job. You mentioned this. Again, it's officials' first game of the season, our first game, players' first game, coaches' first game, fans' first game. Let's get into it a little bit, huh? Osman, this time, hands it off. And how about Covington, who was swallowed up about a yard deep in his own end zone, able to keep his feet churning, gets out to the 5-yard line.
Nice job at Covington. He gets hit about a yard deep, but he was heading up momentum going forward. You're going to see here penetration, but it's by the shoulder, and he's able to spin out of it. And it would have been, I don't know if they would have got a safety, but they'd be right back to the 1-yard line. Now they give a little bit of breathing room.
Tommy Sokol had him, but he had him by the shoulder pads. And again, if you don't have leverage there, tough to keep a talented kid like Covington from moving forward. So they get out to the 5. Now it's 3rd and 6, approaching 5 minutes to play here in the third quarter.
They're going to take a timeout. They're going to delay if they don't hurry up here.
Osman asking for it, clapping for it, gets it. Rolling to his right, has his target, and that's a first down for Fordson. Muhammad Sayad, he's having a big afternoon for this Fordson offense. The 5'11", 170-pound senior.
This is the classic wheel route, and they're going to take Antonio Gates Jr., who is split wide to the right. He's going to run a post and pull the safety, pull the corner, and then Sayad, he's going to just go out to the sideline and then down the side. You see him, you saw the tail end. So he runs an angle route, Johnny, and then he turns it up the sideline after Gates has flushed the area clean. So well-designed play and well-executed. That's a huge play. I mean, you got 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 6. You're punting, and Canton's going to get the ball on the plus side to 50.
No question.
I'm sorry. I mean to stomp on you there. But when your coach is on, he's going to look at this game and just say, fellas, if we didn't have so many penalties, too many penalties, and they're legit. He can't say we got, the officials didn't give us a break. He's going to look at these penalties and say, yeah, that's a penalty. That's a penalty. That's a penalty. We can't do that. You expect it in the first game. You do. You're going to have more, but just inordinate amount that he's getting here today.
Osman, handoff. Covington through the first layer. And up past the 30-yard line, up to the 32. Covington, some tough yards here today for the Fordson offense. And to your point, week 1, you're going to live with some things. You're going to live with some mistakes. Now, 5-yard penalties don't kill you. Even 15-yard penalties don't necessarily kill you. It's the turnovers. It's the points off turnovers, all those things. These mistakes are correctable as the season moves along. Obviously, when you got a 10-point cushion and you're making mistakes, you can stomach them.
And they're less glaring, correct.
Right. But, yeah, when they go back and watch film tomorrow, certainly he'll be able to circle this and say, we got to clean this up, and certainly got to clean this up. Osman, he's played near perfectly. How about that with the fake? Keeps it himself and up near the 45-yard line. I asked Coach Zaban about Osman. He says you want your best players to be leaders. And Alex Osman is that for Dearborn Fordson. You might have guys that work hard, Roos, but they don't get other guys to follow him by being vocal, encouraging them. But Osman is the guy who asks other guys to step up as well. And that's what you like to see in the quarterback.
And if it's genuine effort, enthusiasm, you can respect it as a teammate, too. You don't want a quarterback that's kind of being false and fake, hey, come on, let's go. Right. But you got a guy that's leading by his example, and that's what Alex Osman does. It's much easier for his teammates to get in line and follow his leadership.
With experience comes greater responsibility. He's been through the ringer already. Second season as the starter. Osman, this time hands it off. Round the outside. And nice run from Hussein Beydoun.
Beydoun on carry. Nichols with the tackle.
And another flag comes in late from the Fordson sideline. That was going to move the sticks.
I think it'll still move the sticks if it's a dead ball. You'll still get a first down. You'll just lose 15 yards.
What were you saying about going back to look at film when you're going to say some correctable mistakes?
Yeah, and this is one. Now, this is a sideline warning. And so they don't get yards or anything marked off until the next time, and then they'll be penalized 15. You have to understand how big that is. And I'm going to tell you a story about a sideline thing in a minute here when we get a few seconds to kill.
Can't wait. Yeah, where's the get back
with
coach?
Bated breath, Johnny.
Osman. Underneath, Antonio Gates Jr. sheds the first would-be tackler. Tough yards. And it looks like it might have been a face mask.
That's an easy call because it happened in front of the Fordson bench. You got about 35 officials with yellow helmets on calling that one with you. So if you're the side judge over there, it's an easy call.
I think it was Julian Lockett, number 21 in red. Might have been the first hand that got up there, the face mask area of Antonio Gates Jr. I stand corrected. That was Parker Salowich who had the face mask.
You ever notice the really good athletes?
Oh.
Well, let's take if we get a look at that face mask. I was going to say, you never see Gates' head, the hand brushes across the mask. And I was going to say, okay, we're going to look at the play here. Just a little quick screen to getting the ball in space.
Where was the block in the back? Oh, I think it was Muhammad Ali Hazimi.
I think you're correct.
From his tackle position.
First down and 15.
As it were.
Well, the good news is it was a spot. It was a spot foul.
Yep. Well, we thought we saw something. Officials saw something entirely different. And not much happening for Hussein Beydoun. They tried to run him out to the far side one more time, but a nice job by that Canton defense, able to snuff it out. 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Fordson trying to add to its double-digit lead. Fordson came out to open this quarter with a touchdown on his first drive. Since then, exchanged a few possessions.
Now they have Gates. They have him lined up in the 3 position, in just the slot inside. So he has the whole middle of the field to work with. So that means he can go post, he can go corner here. That was post.
And instead, he finds number 24, Mohamed Sayad, I believe his 4th or 5th reception of the day. So he went the opposite side of Antonio Gates Jr., who was in the slot.
He had mirrored routes. I say mirrored. On the other side, Sayad did the same thing. He just ran a skinny post, was able to get inside position. And once again, I've been impressed by Osman. You know, Coach, I didn't think we would see a kid throw the ball that well. It wasn't that Coach didn't talk highly of him, but he was, you know, Coach, when he's not Coach Saban, he kind of downplays everyone. All this, he's pretty good. This kid's really good. I think Osman has had a really nice game throwing the football. I'm not privy to the stats right now, but if we get a chance, maybe when we get some third quarter stats we can put up, his numbers are pretty good throwing the football.
Well, 1,000-yard passer a season ago. This time hands it off. Beydoun lowers his shoulder and picks up a couple of yards on the play before he's stopped by Barrett Barker. Flag in on the play. We'll wait to see what the flag's all about.
Holding on the offense. 10 yards from spot. Repeat. First down.
So Fordson been hurting itself a little bit with penalties. Hey, baseball fans, make sure you tune in tomorrow night. Tigers are back home, take on the Toronto Blue Jays for a little weekend series. You don't want to miss Miguel Cabrera's return to Comerica Park after reaching his 500th home run milestone. Tigers and Blue Jays tomorrow night, 7 o'clock on Bally Sports. Then he hit one in St. Louis. He's at 501.
He's 3 away, right, from the next one at 504. What is this? Was it Eddie Murray? I'm trying to think who it was. Somebody is at 504. He will reach. I saw him.
Eddie Murray, you got it, pal. Osman reaching back, looking for a receiver, but just over the outstretched fingertips of Hakeem Elgami. Actually, nicely thrown ball. Just sailed a little bit.
That's why you want 6'3" receivers instead of 5'10". If you're a quarterback, get a bigger radius of catching because that ball is right there. Ajami just not quite long enough to get that. But once again, Osman, that's a nice thrown ball too, because it's the right distance. He also throws it. He moves the receiver to the edge of the field where only he can catch the ball. It takes the defender out of play.
Well, good coverage back there by Josiah West.
Well, being 2 scores down, if you're Canton, if any hopes come back with that type of offense, you've got to get off the field without giving up any more than a field goal here. I guess you could give up 3 and keep it a 2-possession game. But if you allow Fordson to take this in here, and that's going to be the last play of the third quarter, Johnny, and to start the fourth quarter, it's going to be tough with the type of offense you run.
So Covington picks up a couple, and that will do it for the third quarter. We have 1 remaining. There's Alex Osman. Heading to the sideline, played an efficient 3 quarters of football, and his team is leading by 3. Look at Covington. Look at the eyes. Look at the legs. Look at the finish. Covington and the Tractors ahead by 10.
Welcome back. Fordson leads 19-9 here at the start of the fourth quarter. It's a family affair for football. Fordson football head coach, Coach Saban, and his son, Mohammed, who rightfully has earned his spot as the linebacker. This is the first time he has ever coached his son. He said it's been hard to find that balance between being a coach and a dad, because growing up with Mohammed playing sports, he never wanted to get involved. He always took a back seat, but he did say one positive is that he's been able to spend more time with not only him, but with his wife. His wife is a tractor mom. She hosts dinners for the players. She doesn't know much about football, but she is learning, Coach said. But this has been a great experience for them. And, yeah, I mean, it's a family affair for them, you guys.
Yeah, no question. It's a great family. You got to know your family roles. Osman, meanwhile, just tries to get rid of it, throws it, and incomplete. He was looking underneath, trying to find Mohammed Sayad. That was on 3rd and long.
I think they call it a fumble. Now, that other words that he threw the ball backwards because the official was marking it out of bounds. But I'm pretty sure that was a forward pass, Johnny.
For sure it was. Let's take another look at it. I mean, Osman bobbled it from the start. Yeah, now they just waved it incomplete. So here he is, but watch. Yeah, it's for sure forward.
Second down.
Not a happy camper.
You know, I appreciate it. Now, that wasn't Coach Zaban. That was one of his assistants, but Zaban lost his headset, too.
So big play here, 4th and 12. I'm going to watch number 7. You got Caleb Williams. Yeah. If you're going to stop here, if you're Canton, it keeps you in the game, but it's a tough road to hoe if you allow them to get this first down and go in and score.
All right, now a timeout is going to be called by Fordson. You heard Brooke talking about the family dynamic, obviously, with the Zabans and Mohammed being the young man playing linebacker, and head coach Fuad, and Mom, who's learning about the game, as best she can. One of the things that Coach Zaban talked about helped him a little bit was being able to coach his daughters basketball. So he got in. I don't think he was the head coach, but he had some opportunity to work with his daughters. And you know what it's like with your kids.
Nothing worse as a parent than coaching your children. I hated it because I was always way tougher on my own kids. Right. And what happens when you're a coach, you see less because you're focused on your child and chewing their butt. That's what I did. That's my sons and my daughters. I was not a good coach for my kids.
Would they say that, or is that you just being hard on yourself?
No, I would think they would say it too. Yeah, Dad,
were the teams any good that you coached?
Were they good? Took a girls' freshman basketball team 18-2 with no talent.
Oh my goodness! Way to go, man. No, I can't imagine what it would be like.
It's tough.
But this happens a lot. There's a lot of
absolutely. That's why a lot of people get into coaching.
Sure.
It's because they have children coming through the system. They want to have a chance to coach them.
Yeah. And then you never know exactly what it's going to be like until.
And how that child's going to be receptive to your coaching, whether or not,
All right, 4th and 13. Alex Osman from the shotgun. Trips down on the near side. There's a low snap. He bobbled. He's coming up over top. Sayad in the end zone, does not come down with it, but there is a flag, and that's going to be defensive pass interference against Josiah West of the Canton Chiefs.
And that's going to make it a first down. It's not an automatic first down, but I believe it's a 15-yard penalty, and it was 4th and 13.
Very well thrown ball.
During the play, pass interference on the defense, half the distance to the goal. The result of the play will be a Fordson first down from the 14.5-yard line.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, this is a pretty no-brainer.
Yeah,
if you look at West,
turned around.
Josiah never located the ball, and he ran into Sayad, the receiver, and that's a no-brainer. It's easy. Throw the flag. Wasn't playing the ball, interfere with the receiver, and that's tough. 4th and 12, and you give him the first down on the penalty.
It's now 1st and 10 from just inside the 15. Handoff to Covington. Covington stood up. Adam Nicholas, number 7 there for the Canton Chiefs.
What a nice job also by Wesley Falcon. You talk to your safeties about running the lane, and they have a lane on an angle. When they read the running back trying to take it to the edge, you come up on that angle. It's almost like a linebacker filling when a guard pulls. You're running that angle, and he took off and hit it with speed, had confidence in his read, was able to get in there and help on that tackle. Nice job by Faulkner, believing in what the coaches tell you.
A nice job by Nicholas. He has a nose for the football. He leads all returning linebackers with 43 tackles a season ago.
Wrestler, too. Tough.
They all
good
are.
hands, yeah.
Wrestlers make good football players and vice versa.
Just wonderful defensive linemen. They don't have to be big.
Timeout, Fordson.
So Fordson going to call a timeout here. We'll wrestle with a 2-minute break here. Inside 11 minutes to play here in the 4th and final quarter. Tractors up by 10, looking for more. Well, we've had an entertaining early game, and make sure you stay with us after the conclusion of this one as we get you ready for game 2 of our doubleheader. Detroit Catholic Central and Chippewa Valley. Kickoff set for 7 o'clock. Don't go anywhere. The Shamrocks and the Big Reds, they square off next. That's going to be the live action here at Wayne State. Fordson looking to put more points on the board. 61 ticks elapsed here in the 4th quarter. 2nd and long. Osman fakes it to Covington. Tries to come back to Sayad. Nice job by Josiah West to knock it away for the Canton Chiefs defense.
Yeah, and Alex Osman like to have that one back. He's made a lot of nice throws. I'm talking beautiful throws. This time just behind Sayad. As you can see, if it's in front of him at all or even in the middle, he's going to make the play. But because he had to reach back to allow Josiah West to come through and strip the ball. And to that young man's credit, he never gave up on it. He kept pursuing, and a nice strip.
3rd and 7. Sayad lined up here on the near side. Number 7. Antonio Gates Jr. lined up in the slot. Osman looking that way. Going, looking for Gates, just over the outstretched arms. Led him a little too far, Rob Rubick.
But he was open once again. That's 2 passes in that drive to Alex Osman. We also have a flag. I don't know if we got a late hit.
Hold. Offense. That penalty decline. 4th down.
You decline that? That's interesting. Well, I don't know. You know, you think about, do they kick a field goal here? But 2 points have been missed by the kickers. That Hadi Saad has missed 2 extra points. I think, would you take that? Would you want him in a 4th and 7 or a 3rd and 17?
I'd take 4th and 7.
Okay. Well, you're getting your wish.
Yeah, I think you dodged 2 bullets there.
Okay.
If they're able to get pressure
you're
here,
going to get that told you so. They get a first down. Okay. Definitely getting that told you so.
There's Osman. All sorts of time over the middle. Sayad. Touchdown, Fordson.
I like the confidence. Yeah, I like the confidence Alex Osman has, because he threw 2 poor balls. Really, the first 2 that he'd like to have back the entire afternoon, but he came back and threw a beautiful ball. That time, that's a tough ball, a deep crossing route across the back of the end zone. Sayad does a good job of grabbing the ball in his hands. You hear me say grab it, don't catch it. Catch it means in your arms. To me, grab means you go up with your paws and grab it. And Sayad does. He's able, that time, he was able to beat the coverage of Connor Hands and make the play. And as I said, Osman rebounded from a couple suspect throws and made a really nice one.
Yeah, really terrific start to the 2021 campaign for the senior quarterback of the Fordson Tractors. Now, Hadi Saad in to try the point after. The hold from Zaban. The kick from Saad is good. 25-9, make it 26-9 in favor of the Fordson Tractors. And there is Sayad. Half a dozen catches today. This one worth 6, just in front of Connor Hands. We'll be with you every Friday throughout the high school football season for Football Fridays here on Bally Sports. Here's a look at where we'll be the first month and a half of the season. Next Friday in Muskegon, Detroit Cass Tech coming to town. Week 3, how about a battle of Detroit? Cass Tech traveling to Martin Luther King. Week 4, head-to-head battle of Traverse City's 2 biggest schools, TC Central, TC West. We'll be out in the Lansing area in Week 5. Grand Ledge taking on DeWitt. Then Week 6, 2 primetime football programs facing off, Lowell and East Grand Rapids. Join us all season long here on Bally Sports and also on the Bally Sports app.
You know, that Lowell East Grand Rapids kind of makes me curious, because 2 of the legendary coaches in the state with a lot of state final appearance, Noel Dean at Lowell and Peter Sturzma at East Grand Rapids, neither are at the program anymore. Noel left the program 2 years back, and Peter's at Hope. Coach Sturzma took over for at Hope College. So interesting, 2 programs that have been dominant throughout the years, but have sputtered a little bit the last few years. See if they could right the ship a little bit.
Josiah West, the deep man for the Canton Chiefs, gets past the 20 up to about the 26-yard line. Chiefs down
West
by 17 points.
From the 3-yard line.
They've got to work quickly now.
Yeah, this takes you out of your MO, really, because you just can't continue to run the ball inside. You can still mix in a trap every now and then, but you have to spread things out. You have to try to throw the ball, in which you really haven't had much success. They had the touchdown pass to James Grant on the pop pass, where they showed a little play action. But besides that, when Fordson has known that they're going to throw the ball, it's been tough sledding.
Trevino up under center. Josiah West lined up directly behind him. Faulkner was the motion man. They hand it off to Drew Contos. Contos, one man to beat, throws a stiff arm, but a great job by Leonard Smith to come up and make the tackle from a safety spot. And that saved what could have been a Canton touchdown.
Smith with the tackle.
But that'll pick up the first down. So 1st and 10, Canton Chiefs. Zaban looking for answers. Caleb Williams in motion. Trevino's going to lead him. Puts it right on the numbers. And Williams up near midfield.
And that time, that was a well-designed route, because he got Williams out of the backfield. He had Contos running a sail route to the near side, who was open, and James at tight end.
Dead ball, personal foul, number 54, White, 15 yards, first down.
And we talked about having the ability to move the ball down the field quick to give yourself a chance. You know, a nice pass play, a nice run, and then Fordson donates a 15-yard penalty because of Javon Parker getting a late hit there, and now all of a sudden you're into plus 35, and things are looking better with 10:07. You have still most of the fourth quarter. If you can score here in the next couple 3 plays, things might get interesting again, which is good for us. And all the people who are here,
yeah, in less than 40 seconds, First and 10 from the 35-yard line. Trevino going to keep it himself this time. Left himself the option to pitch back to Caleb Williams. Instead keeps it himself, ridden out of bounds. No gain on the play. In fact, they're going to lose yardage. Second and long, forthcoming.
Well, you don't want a negative play. Obviously, every offense, at risk of stating the obvious, doesn't want a negative play. But especially in this type, where you're at ball control 3-4 yards. Sometimes you might pop a 6 or 7. Now you're behind the sticks, 2nd and 13, and they put you into something you're not comfortable doing, and that's a possible pass play.
Good news is they did get the play clock stopped. This time, the handoff. And with running room. And the ball comes loose. Connor Hands fumbles the football. And guess who? Antonio Gates with the blocker. Gates still on his feet, knocked out at about the 52-yard line.
Is it me or does the ball find number 7?
Wow, what a day.
Connor Hands has a nice run and a really good job of sealing the edge and getting him down the field. And all of a sudden he gets taken to the ground on the way down. The ball comes out. And who's there but number 7? Antonio Gates should just say, Coach, I'm done for the year. I think I've done enough. I've done more in this game. Yeah.
An INT,
two INTs. One got called back. No, it stood. Just they got the yardage taken back. Yeah, and remember that INT he returned for a touchdown too. So you could have 3 touchdowns, 2 INTs, and a fumble recovery with about a 30-yard return. That's pretty good. That's your high school career there, Johnny.
I do want to apologize to our audience here. We're having some technical difficulties. Can't show you that instant replay of the fumble and then the scoop by Antonio Gates Jr. But you saw it happen live. And we're working to correct that. So now Fordson with the football here. Looking to add more. Inside 10 minutes to play here in the 4th and final frame. Ball at the 47-yard line. Osman hands it off to the motion man. A little jet sweep action with room to run. Look out. Fordson back in the end zone. Ahmed Harb with a 47-yard touchdown run. And he has broken this game wide open.
A little bit different look. They just run the jet sweep, Johnny. And Harb does a nice job. He pushes the edge. He pushes it like he's going wide. He plants the foot in the ground like a tent stake, cuts it back against the flow, and then goes north and south. And gets right down the hashes and shows some good speed. Nothing fancy. Well blocked. A lot of white shirts staying up on the red shirts, and that allowed him to find the seam.
And how about that quick change of possession? Canton sustained drive, had everything going in its favor. He had the turnover, and then boom, just like that.
You know, and talking to Coach as one of Coach LaFada's keys. How do we handle quick change? He says, we're going to turn it over, but how do we handle it? That's 2 times after turnovers, quick touchdowns for the Tractors.
Hadi Saad, point after try is no good. Pulled that one. So it'll remain 32-9. Thanks to the efforts of that young man, Ahmed Harb. Fordson rolling in the season opener. Well, Dearborn is rolling right now, up 32-9 over Canton. Time now for the Menards big money moment. And it is that young man, Antonio Gates Jr., the Michigan State commit. 2 touchdowns receiving, 2 interceptions, and 1 fumble recovery.
And remember, he had an interception return for a touchdown that was called back. That's not big money moment. That's definitely big money moments, as it says right above there. And here's a look.
That's how it started.
Yeah, that's Alex Osman going up top early, beats Caleb Williams for his first touchdown, and then worked once. Let's do it again. And they find him, accelerates, gets separation. Once again against Caleb Williams, he gets a second touchdown. And then we're going to see what he does on the other side of the football. He undercuts it, gets the interception. Short return on that one. And then he picks off another one, and he runs for about a week.
That would have been an 89-yarder.
Now, that young man, you watch kids, and I always wonder, well, is this kid a MAC kid? Is he a Big Ten kid? He's a GLIAC kid. Where is he? You watch someone like that, and you say, oh, that's why he's going to Michigan State. I get it. Those are the easy ones to identify as recruiters.
Yeah, Spartans get a good one. Wesley Faulkner back deep for the Chiefs, bobbles it. Faulkner now corrals it at about the 7-yard line. Not much room to move, but able to dance out of it and pass the 20-yard line. So nice job by Faulkner to make something out of nothing. And the Canton Chiefs will go back to work, but now they certainly have the work cut out for them.
This is where you're a Canton fan, and you don't see this very often because Coach LaFata's had so much success. But if they come out in that full house tee, you're thinking, why are they doing this? Shouldn't we be in a 4-spread, wide-out type of offense? But that's what you do. You live and die with it. And most of the times they've had success, and this is why you need to be up, or at least be close in a game if you're Canton, because this offense is not the quick strike offense.
I remember this is a Canton team that last season, they were 8-1 overall. They were 6-0 in conference, and nowhere to go was Josiah West. But, they start out with an undefeated regular season, and what it did, it allows players to have expectations and know that you can be in big games, know that you can win big games. You start stacking up wins back to back to back like that. There's a vibe going on around the school. Kids can feel it. Student body can feel it. Then coming into this week 1, that's something you want to try to capture early on. You have a taste of winning. The expectations are high. Starting in week 1 is pretty big, but obviously you have to come on the road, play at a neutral site against a really good Fordson team, and they're obviously going to have to, regroup, go back, take a look at some things, make some adjustments so they can have another successful campaign here in 2021. There's Josiah West one more time. West is a kid they really like. Obviously, he's had a big game for him here today.
He's made a couple nice defensive plays as well as being able to run the ball inside, outside a little bit.
Yeah, just a junior, too, so they'll have him coming back next year. And again, for a lot of these guys, these seniors, now Trevino, it's his first year starting at quarterback, but for a lot of these seniors, this is the first group that LaFata has had since he took over, where they were freshmen when he took over. So you've got, your 4-year guys that are here playing for him. Really close-knit group there at Canton. There's a handoff to Cantos. Drew Cantos fighting for yardage, gets up to the 36-yard line.
Well, I guarantee it looks like right now Canton's going to come out on the short end of this, obviously 32-9. But if you're Coach LaFata, you take your team on Monday or Sunday night whenever you watch film and say, listen, it's one loss. It doesn't count as 3.
Sure.
It doesn't count as 5. It's one loss. We got beat up a little bit. But it's a long season, and with the point system the way it's set up now, is you're going to be rewarded because this Fordson team's going to win a lot of games, and you're going to receive bonus points for every game Fordson wins. So now, even though you play them here and you lose, if you're Canton, you pull for them the rest of the year because it will help you.
And up near the 45-yard line, it was Cantos one more time. So a healthy dose of Drew Cantos for this Canton Chiefs offense inside 8 minutes to play.
Now you're doing the next game, correct? You and Devin Gardner. You have Detroit Catholic Central and Chip Valley.
Yep.
Scott Merchant's team.
Yep.
I had a chance to see a little bit of him in a 7-on-7. He's got some talent, as he always does. He's got some speed. And obviously Catholic Central, they made it into the playoffs and a few rounds deep and lost to Davison last year, who eventually went on to lose in the state championship game. But what are your thoughts after this play here? I want to get your thoughts on the game coming up because you prepped for it, obviously.
There's a pitch to Faulkner. Faulkner with a little running room past midfield. Faulkner inside the 30-yard line. He's had a big afternoon running the football for the Chiefs. Between Josiah West and Faulkner, look out, Wesley Faulkner.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to see this, John. That was a nice run once again by Faulkner getting outside. A little bit faster than I thought, but we got this game is going to next game's going to be a little quarterback heavy. You have Schuster from Chip Valley, right? And you have Bio from Catholic Central.
Declan Bio. I'll say this. You were talking about, Scott Merchant. He felt like this may be the best passing team they're going to face all year because of Catholic Central. Yeah. He feels like they're a legitimate top 5, top 10 team in the state.
Interesting, because they didn't throw the ball great last year. They did it when I saw them. So it's one of those things where your quarterback matures, your receivers.
Sure.
You bring in some players that maybe you didn't have last year. And you start airing it out. So they're going to throw the ball around, huh?
Yeah, well,
nice.
Catholic Central said they're going to try to put up as many points on the board as they can. So I think we're going to see two teams that that's what they do.
That's interesting, because I'm used to the Tom Mack era too now.
Mm-hmm.
The Tom Mack era was they ran like a power T offense, and they just wanted to punch in the face for 4 quarters. You tell if Tom Mack team ever threw it 10 times.
There's Ryan Schuster right there. Just a talented kid. They gave him the reins of the program, and you can see he's got some weapons around him. Cephas Harris III, one of their top receivers coming out of the backfield. But Schuster last year nearly 1,500 passing yards. And, again, efficient with it as well. 13 TDs, just the 5 picks. So,
well, this was a shortened season, too, we have to remember.
And a short gain on the play, if they did gain anything at all, for the Canton Chiefs. They're fighting the clock and fighting uphill. And again, the other quarterback we talked about from Detroit CC, there's Declan Byle. He has some next-level interest as well. He'll be playing on Saturdays in the fall. Nearly 1,900 passing yards on the season. And obviously he's done a lot of work with my partner in the next broadcast. So we'll talk about that, some of the development that he's seen from his junior to senior campaign. So the Shamrocks are hoping that Declan Byle can help lead them all the way deep into the postseason and maybe culminate in a crown. Handoff. Faulkner splits the defenders into the end zone for a touchdown. Canton.
Wesley Faulkner on the carry. Touchdown, Canton.
What a nice run by Faulkner. And Antonio Gates Jr., he's had an unbelievable day, but he just got schooled there. He comes up from his safety's position, and Wesley Faulkner just gives him a little shallow cut, and down goes Gates. So, as much love as we've given him, you got to give the bad with the good sometimes.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's still some time on the clock here. Canton's going to have to decide what they do here. But with Wesley Faulkner, again, the job of Faulkner and what Arturo Trevino's doing, we had thought that maybe we'd see a heavy dose of Zach Badger in this game. We haven't seen much of him. So and again, that could be, he hasn't been out there
at all. I don't know if he got hurt. We didn't know it.
We just didn't see it early.
You know what? He does not have his shoulder pads on. He's on the sidelines. I see him now.
Yeah, number 2.
Yeah.
But Faulkner has really stepped up in a big way. And how about this? Trying to get to the edge, but no good. Connor Hands knocked out at the 2-yard line. Great job in defense by Muhammad Sayed.
Sayed, wow, you want to finish the tackle. He didn't wait for a fake. He didn't wait for a cutback. He ran through the running back and just really finished it. It looks to me like Connor Hands was going to walk into the end zone for a 2-point conversion. Still, but even though they did not make it, oh no, that's big. See, now it's a 3-possession game. That's 17-point lead. If you kick it there, it becomes a 2-possession game with 2 2-point conversions.
Well, what's Lafana decide to do? You got to kick it away.
Oh, you got an onside kick. If you truly think you have a chance to come back in this game, it's a must onside kick.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're down 3 possessions with 5:39. This is not the NFL. This is high school football where the clock goes fast.
So it'll be Trevino. Brings out the kicking tee. Sets it up at the 40-yard line.
Pick your side. Where's the onside kicks? Which way is he going? I'm going to guess he's going to the right. He's talking to all the guys on the right. And he also has West over there. He has Caleb Williams over there. There is a number 55. Usually you don't have those guys covering kicks.
He is a lefty.
Pooch.
Just a little pooch. And Muhammad Sayed, the sure-handed receiver, camps underneath it. And so Fordson will take over at about their own 27-yard line, make it the 29-yard line, leading 32-15.
So I think, oops, sorry, Johnny. Go ahead.
No, please.
No, I was just going to say it's time to let the air out of the ball.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to say, coming into this game, there's always great optimism, for both programs, both teams. And same with what's happening in our second game. There is no easing into the schedule. A lot of times in college football, you see this. You try to schedule a directional school, and you've got, let's say, you want to get out and try to work through your kinks and not really be facing a tough measuring stick in week 1. These guys,
props, yeah,
they're going right at it. These guys are going right at it in week 1.
Play the bull right out of the hole. Yeah, don't try to sugarcoat it. Play a team that's going to make you better, win or lose.
There's a handoff. Leonard Covington. Another tough run. Picks up 11 yards on the carry, and that'll move the sticks. You know, the one thing you mentioned earlier, Rubes, is the fact that it is just one game. It'll show up, obviously, as a loss, but because of the new playoff structure, you can still, you get rewarded for facing stiffer competition. At the same time, you're not going to win a state championship in week 1.
Exactly.
But you can learn things from what you've done in week 1, good or bad, that you carry with you moving forward.
And you look at this Fordson team, the Tractors, the biggest thing Coach Saban's going to get out of this is we need to eliminate the penalties. We have to be sharper. We have to be more mentally disciplined. The skill is there. The skill level is there. You have Antonio Gates Jr. I mean, he's a big-time receiver. Sayad is a big-time receiver. Your quarterback, Alex Osman, is way better than I thought he was going to be. He throws the ball very well. Covington's a very serviceable running back, and you are big on both sides of the ball up front. So you have a lot of pieces in place to be a 8-win, 9-win football team this year if you're the Tractors. The problem they run into every year is they're in the same district, I believe, as Cass Tech.
Fordson's third. They are out of timeout.
So let's take a look at where Fordson goes from here. They're going to come out of the gate the right way with a victory here today on the campus of Wayne State University. Then you've got Stevenson, Wayne Memorial, Franklin, Belleville, obviously September 24. I think you like the idea you're playing them a little deeper into the season than you were a year ago when you faced them in week 2, still trying to figure it all out. Then you've got John Glenn, Churchill, and Dearborn.
You know, I know Belleville reloads, but I'm telling you, this is a pretty good football team. And the reason I like this Fordson team is they're good from tackle to tackle on both sides of the ball. I like their offensive line play. I like their defensive. They took the fullback trap away. And the last time we saw that was Belleville was able to do it when they had the Alabama commit and Damon Payne, which our partner who's just snuck into the booth here, Devin Gardner, had a chance to call that game, and he was definitely a pain in the side of the Canton Chiefs all night. But this front of Fordson defensively is good. They're athletic. They're big. They're just not like big, heavy kids that can't move. They're athletic bodies that can move side to side. We saw the 6'4", 300-pound guy run who was that? What was it? I'm trying to think early on in the game. He ran him down.
Javon Parker?
Yes, Javon Parker did a nice job in showing that big men can roll.
Osman. Handoff. Plenty of room to run. Right up the middle. Fordson looking for more and getting more. Touchdown, Hussein Beydoun. It was a foot race, Rob Rubick, and he was running alone.
Yeah, this is, and Coach LaFada is, I guarantee, is not going to be happy. Not that they're losing, but the way they're starting to lose. That's 2 long runs. Now, he is starting to sub a little bit, a few bodies in there, but that's unacceptable. Just because you're on the scoreboard, you're out of the game, it doesn't mean we're not still playing the game. And right now, I'm not saying his kids are quitting. I'm just saying and I don't know how many 2s he has in the game, but you have to play better. Those runs weren't working in the first quarter, or the second quarter, or the third quarter. Why are they working now? You got to keep playing.
Well, and again, I apologize to our viewers watching on television that we are having some technical difficulties, unable to show you the instant replay of that particular run, but it was a thing of beauty to watch. Hussein Beydoun just ripped off a huge chunk, and now this game is all but academic. As Hadi Saad steps on to try the point after. And Saad off the upright. Has not had a great day kicking the football there from the point after try, but most everything else has been working for this Fordson offense. Have a drink. How about that? You got to stay hydrated out there on the sideline. That's a big gulp. There you go. But a great effort. Hussein Beydoun, really talented skill position players for this Fordson offense. And again, you were talking about Coach Zaban, and we talked about the job that he did. And last year he felt like it was more of an emotional toll that it took on him, the starting, the stopping, and going through all the mask mandates and testing. And every program had to go through it, don't get me wrong. But he felt, he's pretty self-aware. He felt that he didn't do a good enough job early in the season to have his team ready. Then once they got in the middle part of the season, obviously were able to rattle off 5 straight wins and put themselves into the playoff discussion. But they certainly have some playmakers on offense, and defensively, he felt like this is a team that was going to be better. And again, against a Canton Chiefs offense that we saw from a season ago, that was average right around 40 points per game, they're holding their own here today, holding the Chiefs to just 15 inside 5 minutes to play.
Take this with a grain of salt, and it's such a small sample size. But I see a lot of nice-looking bodies that can move on both sides of the ball up front. I see skilled players that are difference makers. I see a quarterback that's more than serviceable. I see a running back in Covington that's serviceable. You see some other ones coming into the game now as well. They have a lot of pieces in place to be an 8 to 9 win team this year. I don't see them. I see them cruising through a little bit of their schedule and having a couple tough goes. And Belleville's going to be big, but man, they have a lot of talent.
Well, I remember you were talking to Coach Zaban on our weekly call a little bit earlier, and you had asked him about his depth, thinking about the weather conditions today.
Right? He was starting 6 or 7 guys both ways.
But he's got some guys where, again, it'd be one thing. We highlighted Antonio Gates Jr., and for good reason. He's had a big game. But once teams are paying so much attention to a player of his caliber, of his ilk, here come the Baydoons, here come the Leonard Covingtons, and here comes Alex Osman to Mohamed Sayad. I mean, they've got enough other playmakers around him where you can't just say, hey, we're going to double team him.
You can't load up on one guy.
Right.
You can, but you're rolling dice. It's like pick your poison, because they have enough other players that can make plays, catch the ball, run the ball, that they can still hurt you. But when you look at Antonio Gates Jr., it's one of those things like a Kelvin Johnson. Remember when Kelvin Johnson, I don't know what game it was, but all of a sudden he goes on a goal line on the red zone, and they got 2 DBs in front of him. They doubled. I've never seen that. He changes what you do defensively when you game plan. And that's what Antonio Gates, by his really, I don't say this is coming out party because everyone knew he was a great player. But how would you prepare for that as a defensive coordinator? How do you sleep that week? You say, man, what do we do? Do I roll coverage over that way? And if I do, then that's going to leave us shortchanged somewhere else. Unless you have a lockdown Power 5 corner on your roster, good luck.
And the day is done for that young man, number 7.
Well, he earned it there today now. He earned that W, big part.
So again, just a reminder, coming up immediately following this game will be Chippewa Valley against Detroit Catholic Central. Another good one here on Bally Sports. Arturo Trevino. First start as the Canton Chiefs quarterback, and he has a little daylight. Tries to cut it back near midfield. Trevino taken down at the 50-yard line. So again, this is a building block for Mr. Trevino.
And we got a lot of fresh bodies on defense for the Tractors right now. This is a great opportunity. People say when the game is out of hand like this, but coaches love it. I really, on the team that's winning, because now you put your 2s in defensively and you get game evaluation at speed against an opponent. And sometimes a kid in these last few minutes of the game will jump out. He'll make some plays and you say, okay, there we go. We can move him up the food chain.
How about this? Josiah West splitting the defense. Touchdown, Canton.
Josiah West, number 12.
And this is why you have 2s and 1s.
Touchdown.
And this is Chuck Martin, former Grand Valley coach, had a great quote. I was at a game once. He went to Notre Dame. Now he's at Miami of Ohio. And I was at a Grand Valley game. They're up like 35-7 in the third quarter, and he was already substituted. I said, Coach, why do you substitute so early to build depth? He goes, nope, because my 1s are better than my 2s. I don't want to get hurt. So he always is a believer in getting your 1s out. They played enough. But the other, angle or belief is, hey, these kids might have to play next week. One of these kids, of these 11 are in there, might have to step in and fill in, give them some good experience.
Trevino, hands off. Faulkner in for the 2-point try. It'll be 38-23.
Wesley Faulkner, number 23.
So again, a lot of good. Canton can look back at this tape and say we did some good things. We just ran into, football team, veteran laden that certainly had it. And certainly had some good playmakers on the outside we just couldn't contend with. But I think Canton's offense has shown some glimpses again. What their bread and butter is. Will they be as proficient as they were a season ago? That's yet to be seen. But their schedule.
Well, I think it's very doable, with the exception of, No, wait a minute. Can't. No, who has Belleville? Is that that's Fordson?
Fordson will have Belleville coming up in week 4.
Canton does not have a Belleville on their schedule. They don't have a West Bloomfield. They don't have a Davison. They don't have a program or a Clarkson that's been to the finals. So they have a lot of teams in a similar situation where they're trying to get to the next level during the course of the year. So they will fare well this year. I think Coach Lafada's future's bright. I see enough with what he does. It's just the way the game unfolded. It was a difficult day for them. Both coaches are enjoyable when we got to visit, though, weren't they?
No, great guys.
Man, no.
I had a chance to call a Canton game last year and a Fordson game. In fact, I had the Dearborn versus Dearborn Fordson game, which is always a great rivalry. But anyway, I had a chance to get to know both those coaches a little bit a season ago. But certainly very likable guys. You understand why they both have such successful programs. Meanwhile, the Canton Chiefs with the old onside kick try, I believe they got that.
Well, you're going to see the big boys for Fordson putting their helmets back on. Yeah, that's the straight ahead kick. Now, if you're Fordson, you may want to think about putting some of those starters defensively. It's really the defensive front. When they took those kids out, all of a sudden, all that inside running game, there were huge holes.
No quit in this Canton team.
Well, let's see if they come back.
Adam Nicholas.
The Bazzi. Here I see Saban coming at linebacker. Yep. We see some of the starters starting to come in.
Yeah, Baydoun's back.
Yeah. That just stinks as a player. You're thinking, you're chilling, you're deep in about your third water bottle. You got your helmet off. You put some of your pads on. Like,
yeah.
Gold team, 1 back in.
Look at this. Trevino trying to get to the edge. Trevino showing a little stiff arm before he's ridden out of bounds by Hassan Jagbir. No quit in this Canton football team.
What a great onside kick. I know we don't have privy to the replay because of technical difficulties, but they had him in a cluster, and they just came out.
Got the perfect roll.
It was a perfect, just hit it straight ahead. And once it got to 10 yards, Canton was right on top. They jumped on it. And nice job by Trevino. I believe he's the one that kicked the onside kick, too, the quarterback.
Yep. Now back under center. Trevino gives it up. Faulkner swallowed up by the Bazzies, Muhammad and Hussein. Javon Parker, big number 54, also in on the stop. So now clock reaches 3 minutes. Canton not in too big of a hurry. Still down 15 points, 3rd and 2. I think right now they're not necessarily playing to win this football game, but you're trying to come up with the right possession, right?
Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those situations where you're still trying to play to win.
It just seems like with the time and tempo here in the game, it seems like, hey, let's finish this drive and see where we stand. As Trevino, who gave it up and swallowed up, was Drew Contos. So that'll bring up 4th down. And just a reminder, we talked about our nightcap tonight between Chip Valley and Detroit CC. That game will start about 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one, which means it's what everybody wants, is John Keating for 20 minutes. In between games, he's going to have a lot of. He's actually going to have some good special guests coming on the program. We'll have some highlights of the early game. Talk about what's to come here on Bally Sports. Caleb Williams, not this time. Mohamed Sayad takes him down for a big loss on the play, and that'll be a turnover on downs. So again, don't be switching that dial. Maybe get something cold to drink and get back in front of the television set. We're expecting a really good one. Contrasting styles, contrasting games in this next one.
Well, Johnny, I'll have to get home and watch you because I went to Ann Arbor for the big house. I watched the game there, first half of the game there, and I came here, and I'm not going to lie, I have put a little sweat out tonight. I'm going to assume I really don't want to sit by anyone, too near anyone here the rest of the night.
Now you tell me. Practically on top
of
each other.
She was hot. They're open. I was dripping. Oh.
Well, you look good. You sound good.
Yeah, okay.
Look forward to working with you this season.
Me too.
So now Fordson will take over, and it looks like they're going to bring in a couple of replacements on the offensive side. I would assume that Alex Osman's day is done. I assumed incorrectly. Osman back in there under center.
Just taking a knee.
And he's just going to take a knee and milk this clock out.
And Coach Lafada will not use any of his timeouts. He has all 3, but I think he understands.
So, Coach Zaban said he felt like his team was further ahead than where they were last season. And certainly they displayed that here in the opener. Yeah, beautiful atmosphere. Great to have fans in the stands one more time. Routine bus rides. Sharing water bottles, all the little things. Playing without a mask.
We took for granted, yeah.
Sure. Well, these players just come out and play free. Another knee from Alex Osman. This is the Tractors of Fordson able to salt this one away with a 15-point lead. And coming up after this broadcast, we're hoping to hear from that young man, number 7, putting on a little victory dance as the seconds wane down in this one. Antonio Gates Jr. We told you a little bit about what he did. Definitely made an impact in this game.
No, absolutely.
Anytime you're on national television, but national.
Well, no.
Are we on national?
We should be.
We should be. We're streamed on the internet, I've been told. It's pretty national, but don't forget about that Bally Sports app. If you don't have it, you got to download it. But obviously a kid like him, Antonio Gates Jr., it's a team effort, but certainly they have a really good one, and he's going to be able to help carry this football team.
Yeah, he's a next level player, Johnny. But they got a lot of guys who aren't that far behind him as well, and I think that's why you're going to see this Fordson team have a lot of success this year. And I think under leadership of Coach Zaman, that he just gets a lot out of these kids. They believe what they're doing. They believe in their coaching staff, and it shows on the field.
The final score, Fordson 38.
Nice job on the defensive side, too, trying to hold that Canton Chiefs, that prolific offense intact. And again, you had all season to prepare for that, that distinct T offense.
And that's the advantage. You don't run to it in week 3 where you have 3 or 4 days. And I think we touched on that early on in the game or in the open, that it is a big advantage to have not just your whole offseason and then the 3 weeks in the fall to prep for it, but it shows you what good coaches can do. And defensively, they shut it down for the most part.
And that was a cool moment if you just saw there. Number 7 in white, that being Antonio Gates Jr., giving a hug to number 5 in red, that being Caleb Williams. And now you saw Coach Zaban talking with Zach Badger, number 2 in red. Zach Badger is a kid we thought we were going to see a lot of today, the talented fullback for that Canton Chiefs offense. But he was injured early in this game. Let's send it downstairs now. Brooke Fletcher standing by with the man of the hour. Fletch.
Antonio, what a way to start off this season. You knew it was going to be a tall task going up against this tough Canton team, but your offense put up, 38 points against these guys? What was clicking for your offense here today?
Really, we honestly thought they was going to come out double teaming me, but they didn't, so we just took advantage of the one-on-one.
Now, you're going to college as a wide receiver, but hey, that doesn't take away from what you did defensively today. 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery. Not a bad day at the office, Antonio. What was working so well for you defensively?
Defensively, we watch film 2 hours a day, so we knew the guard was going to tell us everything. So when the guard light on his hands, we know he's pulling. So just everything, just my instincts, we worked for this whole week.
This is your first game of the season. What does a win say about this team and what we can expect from you guys this season?
We can go all the way this year.
You guys are known to have one of the best fan bases in the state of Michigan. How much did having the fans back in the stands energize you guys here today?
Everything. Just knowing my dad and my mom here, I can't let them down. You know what I'm saying? We don't come from a family where we fold, so I got to bring it all.
All right, congratulations. Go celebrate with your team.
Yes,
Johnny, I'll send it back to you.
Way to go. I love that. He says, we can go all the way this year. Antonio Gates Jr. and the Fordson Tractors with a 38-23 victory here in Game 1 of our doubleheader tonight. Stick around. John Kane will be at the Bally Sports Desk. We'll have reaction from MHSAA Executive Director Mark Ewell. And we're about 20 minutes away from Game 2. Kickoff between Detroit Catholic Central and Chippewa Valley is coming up next.